Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my fellow YouTubers. Welcome to another edition of Airy Sky Rita Lee's video blog. I'm Airy Sky, also known as Krabby McCoffee. For new subscribers, welcome. Please hit the like and subscribe button and a thumbs up. It helps me out. If you're a comer backer, welcome. Welcome. So, got a couple of things to share with you this morning. I gave my email address to um, Teldor just in case. Mama Fanny's hasn't replied, and the only emails I've got is not from AOL, which people say AOL on YouTube. Oh, and if you like my comment to everyone, please hit the let me know via email, and if you want to donate, there's a donation link in my About Me page. Now let's get to it. So this morning I'm preparing you guys for a long video about the preppers list. Now, a lot of people saw my video last night and was talking about how good it was. Yeah. And it was good. They were like, "Oh, it's great," And the thing is the people that do know me and email me, they literally liked my video. Please excuse my hair, So last night's videos weren't doing too bad. The night edition didn't get that many hits, but it's just been up. So, anyways, I'd like to get coffee time with Rita, and we're going to go over the preppers list this morning. So, don't mind me. I'm a little tired this morning. People say, "Oh, Rita, you're doing a great job, on the preppers list." Well, a lot of people, they're sitting there and some people email me and they say, "Oh, it's point of buying things, when they don't know what they need, right? First and foremost is food. Your first and foremost survival is food and water. The second is everything else, right? So if you know something's going to happen, you have to prep, okay? The FEMA and the Red Cross is only training you for natural disasters. They're not training you for civil war. Civil war is a whole different bag of worms. But a lot of people say, "Oh, Rudy, you think we're going to have civil war?" Don't know, don't care. Okay? We're not here about civil war. So, there's also other things to talk about this morning besides Civil War. If you see me with my daily planners, I'm just checking to make sure I have everything set for today. That's one way I know I can get a lot done in one day is my daily planner. So, and I got some other things coming to review this coming next couple weeks. A meal planner, which is going to help me out immensely because I'm always panicked about the groceries. And I have a good reason for it. It's a true story for you this morning. So someone emailed me, right? And I won't go into details. They wanted to touch base with Chloe, right? So I asked them, right? Funny story. What's this about, right? Because there's a lot of secrecy going around, right? And Chloe's like, "I'm not against you," right? Well, this morning it's her birthday. Okay, happy birthday to Chloe. Chloe's being a grouch as usual. Groucho Chloe, right? Anyways, story goes, hold on. And we're not going to be little Chloe, okay? It's her birthday. But I do want to tell the story because to get ready for the prepping, right? So I offered Chloe, I got to teach Chloe today how to use a budget planner. I'm going to get off my butt. That's part of my plan. Anyways, so I got my planner set, right? So today is birthday. So spreadsheets and call America's Best. Couldn't do it yesterday. They're closed. It was MLK Day. So I will be calling America's Best today. Apparently, I also got emails to do. So on my next page here, I got a list, right? Right? They're all bookmarked. Like this is they make it so it's easy. This is today's planner. See? So I got to email this company. I got to email the doctor. I got to email Melissa. I got to print out a document for Chloe to go to the courthouse tomorrow. My order is due in, and today's plan is cook Chloe her birthday dinner. See? And then everything else falls into place, Oh, and since frosting and everything was purchased, the only thing we were missing, so we got conserve. So we got grocery here. So we still got, right here, see? All right, so cocktail sauce, spreadsheets, YouTube. Oh, yes, YouTube. So I'm doing YouTube right here. Overproductive there. Planner, there's a little checkbox that says I did that. Water, started to get a big old glass of water this morning. Okay, so the prepper, you guys have asked me time and time again, what's the deal with the budget planners? Budget planners will help you budget if you're struggling and you need, you got to want to prep. Okay, if you think the government's just going to hand you a rubber check and go on your merry way, you're wrong. This is my other planner. Okay, so I did discuss planners with Poppy last night. Finally got around to that. He's like, no. All right, so we got orders due in, and tomorrow is the note for, every planner is going to have its own small downfalls. Okay, so a lot of you have asked me, oh, well, what's the point of a planner? Point is to make sure you get things in order. Okay, Chloe, on the other hand, I'm going to tell you guys a story. Okay, Chloe's being very grouchy. Okay. Reason we were inquiring about what's going on with Chloe's mom is Chloe's like, oh, well, she like, see, here's the problem with Chloe, okay? Chloe is hiding something, right? First, she says, oh, yes, my mom's an asshole. I don't want to know her. And, then all of a sudden, I tell her, you better fix things because you only have one set of parents, right? I tried to fix it, right? So Chloe apologizes, gets a gift card. She's a good girl. She is. And then all of a sudden, her mom's coming out here, right? Now, Zoe and I and a few others, even Cactus Blossoms, wondering what the hell's that about, right? You got Chloe's mom not even emailing me, right? Not even emailing me, right? Chloe says, oh, my mom uses email for business. Well, I'm a business. See, I use email every day for personal use. I gotta get Chloe in the shower. All right, I got the preppers list up. Need to pour my cup of coffee. I gotta tell Chloe it's her birthday, so I better get the shower. Hey, Chloe, better get your shower. Okay, peeps. So I had to remind her to go take a shower. Or a bath, because it's her birthday. A lot of people have been really griping with me on a few other issues. Half the time I'm sick, half the time I'm not sick, half the time I'm not. Some say, oh, it's pollen. Pollen's getting in the air. Who knows? Anyways, let's use up this shithole thing, right? Okay. All right. So, shall we start our discussion this morning? So, Zoe, of course, is writing this morning. I think. Everyone knows she always talks about break times and whatever on YouTube. Are used to, so people know. But whatever she's doing this morning is her business, not mine, right? So apparently last night Zoe was looking up some info about the shooting. There's an MLK Day shooting, sad as hell. So this morning, I told Chloe to get me my cans of dip. So I didn't tell her to buy my dip. I just told her to pick it up. So shall we get started in the preppers list? Because I got a lot to go through today. A lot. And this is why you're here. Okay. It's the preppers list. This list is huge. So don't. Oh, you don't need my Christmas list. Yeah, there. Sorry. Okay. All right. So, a lot of you out there are prepping, right? You email me, you say, hey, your prepper list is pretty extensive. First priority is food. All right. Everything else, you fill in the blanks as you go. But I want to tell you a couple items. All right. A couple things to start with. If you think, and there will be a black swan event, banking is going to crash, right? That's what we're prepping on. Prepping a banking crash because we're not prepping for civil war. With a banking crash, which would halt everything, including funds to Ukraine, which would be a global catastrophe, which means the entire country would be crippled. So, without further ado, let's get to the list. Okay, so if you're looking at items to purchase, food's your first and foremost. Everything else, and I'll explain along as we go the possible scenarios, okay, of the preppers, okay. So for one, sorry, I'm just checking my my messages. Okay, for one, you preppers out there need to realize that the first item on the list is I can check Discord later. Okay, is 6-pack of writing journals. Now you can sit there and say, "Oh, that's not a bad deal." Each one is different. Please excuse me too for 1 second. I want to. So the journals are good if you're going to be at home and you're in your safe zone. You can say what's a safe zone. Why do I need to worry about a safe zone? You have to worry about a lot. Okay. Oh, and school is in session, students. So the safe zone is a zone where you live. You breathe, you work, you whatever. But if the safe zone gets cracked or breaks, then you have to find a new safe zone, right? But you're like, oh, well, and there's nothing going to happen, right? Wrong. You see, people sit there and they forecasted, oh, Putin's going to push the button. That's going to be the black swan event. No, you see, Putin doesn't have to. You see, Putin can kick the crap out of the Ukrainians until he wins. But what if the entire banking system's collapse, huh? Now, let's put it to you this way, okay? If the banking system collapses, right, that would do a global catastrophe for all mankind. Putin would either have to detonate nukes, which he won't because it's not a first strike, right? And let's just say Putin sits there and says, see, I win, but he wins Ukraine, right, as a consolation prize. But what happens in his country? When he's like, oh, we have all the grain in Ukraine. We control Ukraine. We control the food, right? The United States could turn around and start basically doing the best they could by farming. There'd be a lot more farms opening up for grain, right? So the U.S. wouldn't be too worried. But the entire global positioning system of the world would have to regroup. And that's where the American people have to think for themselves, right? So a journal is there to write journals, right? You can use it for anything: shopping lists, notes, minds, whatever, right? Letters. I like hardbound, by the way. So it's $33, but you can also get a basic Amazon Basic, says here, a professional journal for $12, right? Amazon Basic Classic Notebook. See, the notebook is more likely like this. See, you see, this is an Amazon Basic, right? It works. So the basic notebook right on the middle. I like Amazon products because, it's Amazon. At least they are trying to do something for the community, and the reviews are good. I mean, that's the other reason why I put Amazon in there. If you look at Amazon compared to Higgins 151 6-pack, and you look at the basic professional journal for two, you got to look at the reviews. So as we go, I want you to take a moment, and I will point out the reviews as we go, like the professional journal. 2,200 reviews. The basic notebook, 48,000 reviews, right? Then you got the next item on the list is a digital trunking scanner, right? Now you can sit there and say, oh, yeah, it's like, we need one of those. Actually, you don't, okay? Now, for, say, power outages or small issues, I would recommend one, okay? I would literally say go ahead and go ahead. Sorry, I was just checking my glasses. Go ahead and buy one, right? But as you can see, the price is $700, okay? Now, the question is, you can get $700 in food, or you can buy a $700 scanner through your Amazon gift cards and hope like hell you can survive, right? $700 in food. And I will go over a lot of stuff today, okay, in this first morning edition. All right. The prepping is pretty bad. A lot of people say, well, what's going to happen to, like Chloe last night said to me, Rita, what's going to happen to my mom? And, and I know Chloe doesn't really care for her mom, but she was just, you could read her body language. It was like, well, what do you want to know? She says, oh, financially. Well, let's put it to you this way. Dear old mom doesn't like to answer her emails, and dear old mom doesn't has her own plans, right? Which I respect her wishes, whatever she says, right? But your old mom turns around, right? And dear old mom, isn't telling us anything, right? But you sit there and you say, well, what happens with the banking system, right? See, I told you it stopped from time to time. Banking system collapses. I said, more likely, unless your mom's got cash and coins, she ain't going to survive. She's lost the farm. The farm's been given up. And Chloe was like, oh, it's like a lot of people. See, I'm just going to skim through some of these. $650 scanner you don't need. $500 scanner that you don't need. There's a $458. See, I mean, if it was just a basic, you're prepping for natural disasters, I would say get the one that you can afford. Okay. But, for example, you don't need to go plunk down $334 for a trunking scanner. I mean, everything hinders on, if you're in an analog area or digital, you have to do your research. I can't just sit there and buy something. We tried to see if Higgins could get the railroad. Couldn't even get that. Personally, I think Higgins is kind of slow. He's like, oh, scanners are easy to program. You don't know what you're talking about, jokingly, of course. But you know what? Truth is, if he had one of these alpha taggers, I bet he could pick up something analog in his area. Maybe the railroad, because he's right next to a railroad crossing. But no. Instead, boys basically told him where to stick in. So, a lot of people out there, right? We're skipping these because, all these people. Okay, so you see these? $80 scanner. If you're in a digital area, just buy an $80 job, right? They work. I had to change batteries out. Next on the list is a shopping cart. A lot of people have asked. Yeah, actually, I'm not nailing it this morning. So, you can pay 100 analog if you're in the area. 440. Zoe just bought one of these, all right? She's looking forward to reviewing it for me. I hope maybe since she's ordered one, I can convince her on our prepping channel, because she doesn't go on except for holidays, that she would take some time to review some of these items that I need to buy so we can get a little better in prepping. I also made a joke with Zoe yesterday that if she's in the mood, she can donate me one of these shopping carts. I believe there's shopping carts in the Airy Skies donation list. And of course, I'm not a mooch. I just said that as a joke. So, now, this morning's going to be interesting, okay? We got journals again. See, the journals are for writing that. The shopping cart is for carrying your stuff around, okay? You say, oh, I don't need one. I got a pickup truck. Think about it. Shopping cart will be something that might come in handy for one reason, and that is, how are you going to carry your groceries if they repo your truck? No job, no gas. I mean, look, you got all these people, right? I want to tell you guys a story. It goes like this. Economy's going to be tanking soon, right? You need to think about what you really want to buy and how you're going to survive, okay? I told Chloe time and time again, right? Survival is the key. Hey, look at this, guys. Huh? Want to see something cute this morning? Yeah, you guys do. We got in the bed. See that? Little guy's found my pillow to be a... See, he moved his head. He's like, what are you doing, mommy? He's a good doggy. See, he climbs into my bed too. Doggies do that, okay? You guys could sit there and say, I have him as he needs me. Now, okay, so you guys are saying, what's with the journal? Journals are to write your stories. What happened to you, what you're doing during a second Great Depression. This will alleviate some stress. And you can tell the world your story, because a lot of people won't even think about it. Some of them might just basically find the journaling to be boring and burn it for wood, if you're in a colder climate. But a lot of people, that's the other thing. A lot of people say, oh, well, what's going to happen, right? This one's here, handbook, right? I thought about grabbing some, but, most of these notebooks are different. Okay, the next up is hamburger helpers, right? Now, I don't support processed foods. I told Zoe this, but I also taught Zoe that processed food is used as a last resort, okay? Because as a prepper, let's just say the banking collapses, right? Banks freeze up everything. And the farmers are on their way to move their crop to market. What if they can't do it, huh? The military would come in possibly eventually, or they might just have expired bad stuff. So your best bet is two things. One, you got to get a hamburger helper. You invest in a scale. Sometime this week, I'll put in a meat scale so you guys can understand, right? A scale to weigh meat. See, processed meats, you use meats first, right? And then you slowly switch over to other foods, right? So, for example, you buy a hamburger helper, right? And then you buy a ton of hamburger helper, right? Like this, cheeseburger macaroni, right? Twin pack, single pack. This is 12 boxes for 20, right? You get a twin pack right here, right? 248 stockpiled twin packs. And say, for example, Amazon tells you can have 12, you buy 12. They're going to start limiting. Another one is pastaroni, okay? Last night, Chloe knows I don't like what's that word, people? Spaghetti that often, right? But let me just tell you, spaghetti noodles don't expire that fast, right? Secondly, spaghetti noodles can be used in various dishes, okay? Various dishes. And that is why pasta. Like last night, Chloe made, she's got trash to do today too. Never mind, okay? She made pasta last night, right? And because she made pasta, I see Moppy's gonna hop down now. You gonna hop down, huh? Oh, yeah? Yeah? Tell me all about it, huh? Tell me all about it, guy, huh? As you can see, there's a little brown fluffing on my bed, wagging his tail this morning, you see? That's truly the sign of a prepper. Of course, there is truly a sign of other things. Chloe soon has to give my dog, because she's a good expert. She's learned that skill of and I'll talk about skill sets too. Giving him a haircut. Mom, did you eat your treat last night? Oh, you did? Okay. It's my birthday. And his birthday's coming up. I think it was the 28th of something like that. The 28th of January. So the day Grandma supposedly comes in, it's his birthday. So this little rutabagas, But the thing is, Chloe's mom is literally being, So this morning, well, I was going to see if Chloe get this place clean and offer an advocate a steak dinner. I will be emailing her, but I'm thinking I'm gonna skip the steak dinner. Okay, so a lot of pastaronis and garlic alfredos, etc. These meals right there, $12 for 12 boxes or whatever. Those are good deals because Chloe said, "Oh, these are so filling." I like white sauce, okay? Anything that's a cream sauce is good for my stomach, okay? So pastaroni is something that might be processed, but the main thing is the noodles alone will fill you, And remember what I said last night. You can buy beans too, but as long as pasta is a cheap alternative, I would get pasta before it goes up in price because of the wheat shortage. So, you got roni chicken fettuccine, herbs Italian rigatoni. I mean, they got so many different things, right? And one of the things that Chloe couldn't believe is the stores are starting to run out of these staples at the grocery store, Safeway, Fred Meyer's. I have a friend that's been working Fred Meyer's for like 40 years, okay? Her name is Jennifer. Yeah, funny name, right? I know so many Jennies. But this Jenny has always been a single Jenny. She's So basically she lives in Wenatchee and works over here, okay? So anyways, so when you get pastaroni, you basically eat it. Mac and cheese and pastaroni is one of those dishes you can make that expands, so it makes you fuller. So Chloe turns around. That's why I recommend these box dishes, rice-a-roni, etc. Cheddar box, broccoli, beef-a-roni, etc., etc., etc. You're looking at all these pastas and stuff. That's one of the reasons why we added it, right? Chloe was saying, oh, it's very filling. It is because, your body's expanding it and it fills you up. But, the problem is you want to have your pastas in the morning. You don't want your pastas in the evening because, well, pastas in the morning only give you other issues, And the other thing is, okay, I want to tell you another story, okay? Another story. Yes, okay, I'll get you fed in a minute. It's not 1 million things, it's a million others. See, he's hungry. Yes, I get it. Right. Hopefully that doesn't fall. All right, so shall we continue? So pasta expands. See, look at him. So many things to do, so little time, right? Okay, so. All right, so here's the deal, man. Let's get started with that much right now. I'm on video. So, pastaroni is something that is really good for you all to eat. Now, you preppers out there, it's food, okay? Now, I was trying to explain to Zoe last night that, a lot of people like organic stuff, and a lot of people like organic meats, and a lot of people like organic this, right? But what if farmers can't produce your organic stuff? What if the dairy has to shut down because the The dairy can't ship out their products and no one has the funds to buy their milk. What do? Dump millions of gallons a day of milk away? Farmers can't use that much, see? And this is why I'm here to teach you a lesson about stocking, prepping. So, as you can see, we got down to the bottom of the rice-a-roni, right? The next is lanterns. Now, there's 3 types of people that live, okay? Type 1. The people that live in their own homes, right? Those people think they can do what they want. It's their property, but they don't pay the taxes, they lose their home. They don't have a job, they lose their home. Pete. Shut up, son of a bitch. It's fucking Barky. It's fucking 7:30 in the morning. Shut up. So, can I just explain to you guys? I'll have to use the restroom soon anyway. It's just to give you guys a short break. But my point is this, okay? 3 types of people. You got the apartment livers, you got the homeowners, and you got the caravanners, the RVers, right? Tenters, etc. The tenters, they're not going to worry. They'll just pack up their little house and go place to place, right? Then you got the Chloe's mom. Oh, my mom's got a camper. It's going to be where she lives. If she ain't going to lose her property. But Chloe doesn't realize, watching the 1929 stock crash videos last night again with me, realizing one of the stupidest things with common sense is, she says, my mom's got a camper trailer. They'll be fine. But that's not the point. The point goes like this. Point is this. When the stock market crashes, everything comes to a grinding halt. Dear old mom's not going to be able to put diesel in her pickup truck to carry her trailer to the next site. Gas stations will go bankrupt. The entire country will be down the shitter. We're going to look at a 20 to 40 year Great Depression because people are going to die like crazy because there is no jobs, and the federal government's going to have to work with the world governments to figure out what's going on in the world, okay? The U.S. is going to be the blame for it, And what is the only thing the U.S. has that they can trade? Oil. Do you think they're going to part with it? No. Maybe they were told not to touch their oil. Who knows, right? But think about it. Now, next on the list. The lanterns are used, battery-powered lanterns are used for light, right? And light is important, right? Right. So because light is important, you sit there and you say to me, well, light's important, right? For apartment dwellers. Now, for non-apartment dwellers, you can use, and homeowners, you can use fuel lanterns. But the reason I chose battery-powered lanterns is 2 reasons. One is they're easy to acquire. 2 is they might take batteries, but you know what? It's safer. And 3 is, and this is a major one, those are what's available currently unless you go down the pipe to look for something else. These lanterns are affordable. Now you could sit there and say, oh, well, what about my, and you don't want a rechargeable lantern. Okay, I'm going to tell you. If you get a rechargeable lantern, you're pretty much screwed. Why? Because a rechargeable lantern won't work. See, we're talking about prepping, right? You guys are all prepping for the non-emergent or the natural disasters. What we're talking about is a black swan event. Okay, we're talking about the banking system collapsing. Yeah. So if you would bear with me for a couple minutes, I got to run to the bathroom. It's kind of funny. I'm using Using the toilet. I'm going to use the bathroom for a second. Give me 1 second because I have to, I'm trying to do things. I do also want to say if anyone wants to donate, no pressure or pushing, but apparently my phone's been cracked, as you can see. Apparently it was pretty bad. So literally the screen is, literally Zoe's worried I'm going to cut my fingers on it. More likely will, but I got to use the toilet to be right back. So apparently there's all these people trying to run for the senator 2024.
On toothpaste. Do you have any toothpaste or anything?
No, what?
Because I was going to use some.
Sure. There's a whole drawer of toothpaste right here. You can go find one.
I'll just use
No, that's
ointment.
That's ointment.
I'll just use.
You don't want to do ointment on this.
Just use the rest so you don't have to keep looking for stuff.
Well, there's more toothpaste at the bottom of the bag there too.
I'll look for it.
Well, you finally bought a toothbrush
I had a toothbrush. I'm going to use it for
because the ulcer.
my teeth are dirty. Nasty. Unless I gotta start cleaning it from my mom gets here.
Oh, really? How do you know she doesn't watch the channel and making notes? Being like, daughter doesn't use toothbrush. Only doing it till I come.
Actually, I'm not doing it today because
Your birthday.
should.
But no, I'm just making a joke. How do you know your mom is basically turning around and first one we all get silent, get talking. Oh, look at that blood.
She probably thinks she put me in a group call.
Wash my hands. Don't blow. Thank you for communication. Also, to keep doing some good hygiene, I brush every day myself and my teeth look like crap. It will help you prevent tooth decay.
Yeah.
Okay, peeps, I'm back. So Mother Pee-wee emailed me this morning. You can barely see the screen on this. You guys can see it, right? Oh, God. Let me show you this again, right? So apparently if you look at the screen in the corner, that's all the freaking cracks. Thing hit head. So Mother Pee-wee emailed me this morning about Uh, so apparently she's emailing me again. She's trying to give me a school lesson of something I already know. Why eggs are high? It's because we killed about almost 200 million egg-laying chickens because of a chicken virus. Yep. So to email me as I'm trying to do my YouTube channel is a blessing, but in the same time, mm, I'm gonna have to address this real quick, people. All right, so students, teacher's aide Pee Wee has emailed about what I just said about the bird flu. Bird flu costed about 200 million, give or take. Within the 2 million margin of birds, 198 to 202 million birds, okay, leaving everyone to have an egg shortage, right? Now, Mama Pee Wee is awesome, okay? She emails, right? First thing she said is this place has some great literal stuff, okay? Now, I'm going to go to this website. I'm going to give it to you on the screen, all right? So there's this place that she's been buying everything from. It's called Temu. Now, I've haven't placed anything, but I will tell you they're warm. They're very affordable. Okay, so let's just get this for a second. Right, this is where you can get a lot of affordable stuff on a budget. All right, so Mama Pee Wee's favorite shop. Okay, but we already know about the bird flu. Okay, shall we continue with the prepping as I do this because I'd like to get this done today. Yeah. Okay. So I will keep my email open just in case. So the next item on the list is people have been asking about is freezers. Freezers are good for stockpiling meat. Now, I chose that one particularly as kind of an inside joke with Zoe due to the fact that Zoe likes green, retro green. I like retro green too. Why do you think I chose that color? But those are sold out. So that is just saying, hey, you need a freezer. Freezer that side, that small one, is a freezer good for one person for 1 month. Bobby, are you going deaf? Don't work anymore. Too early in the morning. Okay, so as a prepper, you guys got to ask, right? Small freezer like that will feed one person, right? As you go up, you can add more meat. One person things, you got to say biggest freezers will hold the most, but you better make sure you stack it and logistically fill your freezer to the brim. Otherwise, you go hungry, okay? So a freezer is a must, but what if the power goes out? What if the power goes out and the banking collapse? Remember, we're prepping for a black swan event, a banking collapse, okay? The banking collapse is going to shut down everything. That means Mama Pee Wee, myself, Chloe, Zoe, Fanny, Higgins, Magic Mike, Dan. We won't be going to the banks. Money ran out. That's why I keep telling you, if you have the extra income, put it in food and water, but also put some into silver and gold eagles. As long as you have gold coins and not gold bars, the government's not going to tax you on the coins unless they will. The washing machine is a portable washing machine if you have to wash your clothes at home. And as long as you do the hand cranking method, you follow the instructions, the clothes will come out great, and then all you do is hit line dry. So that could extend your clothes too, and with no power, that is an alternative for washing your clothes. Yeah. So the next thing I want to tell you before we get into the thing is this, okay? Mama Pee Wee, teacher's aide. Remember, school is in session class. was talking about stimulus checks. Okay, I've been waiting for real news on stimulus checks for 2 years. I'm not giving my hopes up, and I ain't holding it. Some guy says, "Oh, breaking news." You know what? I'll tell you what the problem is. Okay, I'm gonna tell you like it is. Okay, I love Mama Pee Wee dearly. Okay, but when it comes to stimulus check videos, these fucking dumbasses don't know jack shit from anyone. They're fucking useless, greedy, and I'm not talking Mama Pee Wee. I'm talking about the YouTube creator. They're fucking useless twat waffles. They think if they can put out, oh, my videos are so popular, I got 2 million subscribers, I'll just put a stimulus out there to get money today. That's what they run out of their own natural content, so they sit there, right? Me, I'm giving you guys the ideas. Tea lights, right? For example, tea lights. Tea lights will be a good thing. Where's my coffee this morning? Here we go. I'm going to start with my dip before I start with another cup of coffee. Why? Because I can. Okay, now, tea lights are something good, right? Battery powered, right? Dozen of them, good to go. You can get these right here if you know you are safe and you have a jar to put your glass jar to put your candles in, right? Fortunately, I love Mama Pee Wee dearly. I'm not going to badmouth her. But I don't think we're going to ever see any more fucking stimulus checks. This guy that's posting the video, he's a dumbass. I already know about the chicken influenza, but the guy's a dumbass. You think the United States Congress is just going to rubber stamp checks? No. They got to approve it. They're not going to approve jack shit. Yeah. Proof's in the pudding, people. They're not going to give us a dime. $500 to $900. Truth is, I'm going to tell it like it is. I'm not, the guy who writes the video is an asshole. Nothing better to do. Plain and simple. So, now, I've seen people, former moderators, who are still posting. They go watch this lady, and then they go watch this guy, and then they watch this guy. They turn around. What do? So we're getting a stimulus check. Everyone flocks to me. I'll tell you my problem. Goes like this. There is no more stimulus check. Country's bankrupt. What we're preparing for is a black swan event. Candles are good, by the way, if you know how to use them. But it's not necessary. You only need X amount of candles, but you can buy whatever you need for light, right? If that's all you can afford is candles, get candles. If you can get an LED, get it, but make sure it's non-rechargeable batteries, okay? A battery organizer. A lot of people say this is pretty useless because not many people use C's and D's unless you have a mag light. So take that into consideration. And I only use triple A's every 4 years. Hey, don't want you sitting on the paper towel now, do we? King Moppy. He's sitting on the chair throne right now. See, I'll show you guys a picture of Moppy, because everyone wants to see Cutie Pie, see? Okay, so we'll get back to it. So unless you need a battery cover, these come in handy really good. So, but my point is, I don't want to insult anyone, but I'm not going to allow a prepper who thinks we are not a prepper, a non-prepper who thinks that we are prepping for useless. I mean, hell, let me just put it this way. For the sake of our battery, if you think this is something you want, buy it. Otherwise, Another item sold out right on the top. This is where we're going to be seeing some stuff in the food section sold out. So we're just going to say, you don't need to know this is a food product. So a food product is something that can and will be used pretty good. So the problem we have as preppers is not about this stuff, but it's analyzing the bullshit, okay? Our bullshit detectors. Now, a lot of people sit there and say, oh, yes, I mean, I remember my beloved mama Pee Wee sending me links a couple months ago about the stimulus checks. Even Higgins did. I'm like, the stimulus check boom is over. It's not like hitting the oil, okay? The government's not going to just cut a check because they want to do it willy-nilly. I mean, the truth's in the pudding. I mean, we would have had more stimulus checks now. I mean, literally, I lost a couple of stimulus checks when I basically was forecasting the election. Yeah, so anyway, so milk is a powdered item. That is going to be your best bet for stuff. Now, if you look at this power bank, right? A lot of people say, oh, well, that looks cool. I need one. If there is a black swan issue, as Higgins pointed last night, and I did the video, you're not going to have to need one of those because your phone's going to be useless. I mean, look, phones aren't going to even be used. Email is going to be not used. Nothing. Servers are going to be down. One of those couldn't even power a server for an hour. So, anyways, Mama Pee Wee emailed me. She said, you can't believe these people either. I mean, look, first of all, I may sit there, and people say, what are you, Republican or Democrat? It doesn't matter. What matters to me is this, okay? No, it's not about the big old spit. It is about, liberal pussy. Like a liberal pussy will turn around and they expect you, the taxpayers, to pay for their food. They think if there's a prepping situation, the government will prep for them. So they'll be taken care of. They won't. So these power banks will come in handy for short-term situations. That's what I want to talk about. Short-term, say natural disasters, you need to keep your communication, but that's short-term. These are pretty good. You see, $24. Now, a lot of you talk about the solar generators, the Jackeries, and you tell me all the time, Rita, the Jackeries. Tell us about the Jackeries. The Jackeries is another item you don't need to prep for unless you're prepping specifically for natural disasters. You're not going to need to have 20 Jackeries lined up under your bed when a banking crash happens, because when you're sitting in your home, say on the 50th floor of a sky rise, and you're the only one with lights, they're going to be wondering how you're doing it, right? And if I mean, there's people out there that will have solar on the roof, but as long as the solar's on the roof and you're connected to the main power line, as Mama Pee-wee knows, the electric company is going to be siphoning off your solar, and you're still going to be paying the electric bill. So to me, if you're going to basically go all solar, cut off the electric company, and they say it's mandatory, it's law, then just fucking change over to something where they can't siphon off your power. Because these greedy bastards will do anything, So power generators are only good for short-term situations, right? Again, $299, $68.99. It's on sale, by the way, if you want to pay $68. But these are all solar generators. Highly recommend it, right? The next item on your list is a very important butane and a camp stove. You want to consider what for? Do you want your morning coffee or tea? Do you want to eat? Point is, when the banking collapse hits, let me tell you a story, okay? From a perspective that Zoe learned last night. Love Zoe, by the way. She's awesome. Zoe and I were talking about island living rather than concrete jungle living, okay? On the island, you think, oh, we could do many things. We could do many restaurants. When you turn around, right? Zoe and I were talking about island life, right? One of the things that Zoe didn't learn last night, because I wasn't in school with her, was the fact that the people out there All right, so I just was listening to someone on my Discord. We have our own Discord channel, by the way. If you guys ever want to hit me up there, I will give you the link if you wish. The link expires every 7 days. Mm-hmm. Is your cooking stuff, right? Butane and the camp stove. You can sit there and say, well, what's the difference between the butane and the camp stove? I'll tell you. The butane and the camp stove will come in handy for many reasons. One is you cook, right? As long as you keep your window cracked and you don't set up your carbon monoxide in an apartment, you're fine. Well, the second reason is this will cook your food, okay? You just got to make sure you can mask your food if there's people outside rummaging around looking for food to eat, right? Second is you're going to see people poaching, taking food, killing deer, killing whatever they can eat. They might eat, and this is why I keep telling people, if you have family pets, keep them close to you, because in the Great Depression, people were eating their family pets because that's all they had to eat. It's sad. So the stove will come in handy, okay? The next up is things that are luxury items. Okay, I'm going to say it as is, luxury items. Cookies. No, now, you don't really need cookies because, cookies could lose your figure and your shape, but, you can't just live on cookies. You need to basically buy stuff that will last. But in the short term situation, you need cookies and snacks. But in a long term situation like banking collapse, you don't need to support the cookie industry. So, and look at some of these prices, $41 per case. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of money. Now, these little tinned cookies are good, too. You can just keep them stacked up in the corner. You can just stack one up at a time, and you'll have plenty of cookies. But that's only if you want to keep cookies on hand. I, for one, don't know what to tell you about cookies. But, in a short-term situation, this will come in high. So, anyways, let me tell you what's going on, okay? So, Pee Wee and I were conversing this morning about politics. Usually, we don't talk about politics. Pee Wee's so quiet on it. She knows we try not to trigger each other. But, anyways, let's just continue. Cookies, right? So, the next up is sold out. So, let's just go down to the next one. Is a charcoal barbecue grill / moot smoker combo. Now, if you live in an apartment complex and they don't let you use an electric smoker, this is your alternative if you want to smoke your meats. And this is a good idea if it comes down to smoking your meat to make your meats last longer. If you don't have power and you have to smoke your meats, you can take all your meats, defrost them, and smoke them. You still get your protein. You can also learn certain ways and get recipes for how to preserve your meat like the old days where they can make long-lasting meats like hams and other things. But a smoker is a must. So there's various smokers. Choose one. Next up is something I said in the beginning of the videos, scanners. Scanners can only work in a short-term situation because in a long-term situation, you'd be feeding it batteries like crazy, okay? And a lot of people say, well, what if? Now, if you, and by the way, everyone out there, Tom, Dick, and Harry is going to be grabbing lanterns and whatnot to survive when the pandemic hits, which means you'll see a battery shortage and then they won't be able to make new batteries. So, again, think about it from that point of view. The scanner is a temporary short-term fix, not a long-term fix. Next is this, sold out, sea canned fruits. Let's go to the next one. And third-party seller selling it as they're scalping, okay? Another thing that you could live on if you do it is peaches. It's got sugars if you want to keep it on hand for low blood sugar. But you got to also ask yourself the main question is, and this is something I've never addressed to you preppers before, is the price. If the price is too high for a can of peaches or 8 cans of peaches or 8 jars, then don't buy it. I'm going to give you, in the end of this video, some of my favorite foods, okay? Again, peaches, see, $2.09. Pears, I like pears, but as you can see right there, sold out. Again, another sold out product. So the next is pears again, $28 for 12 cans. You got to ask yourself, they're doing shrinkflation. It used to be 24 cans to a case. And back in the 70s, it used to be 48 cans. The 80s, they said it was 36 cans and 24 cans. Now it's 12 cans. Next, they're going to say a case of 6. Think about it. They're going to continue to shrink you and then charge more for it. So that's why you got to do it. Next up is mouthwash and toothpaste. You always want to keep that on hand. Keep your teeth as clean as possible. Yes, I should be talking, I know. But, reason for it is that will help you try to stave off the dentist. So, these are items that you want to keep so you don't get diseases or anything else. Same goes with toothpaste. And by the way, as a joke, I always say that these are good stocking stuffers if you want to build something cheap. Family might not like it, but, you got to look at Santa's pocketbook too. Santa might have to stick that in their stocking. So toothbrushes, that's a must. Planners, of course, you can go to Temu for planners, but I just put in just basic planners. As you all know, planners will help you plan your day. If there's a power outage, you can still do your stuff. Maybe you have a home and you're planting a garden, but just remember, if you plant a garden and you have people who have access to your backyard, your garden's going to be taken and your food's going to be eaten. So just be warned, but a daily planner does help. The Amazon Basic, that's the one right here. Works really well. I paid $13 for mine. That's now $18, so price went up. So planners will come in handy for many things. Planning your, everything you need. So let's just skip the planners because, we got a lot to go through today. We already talked about planners and journals. They all help. Next is your potassium iodide tablets. These are tablets you want to buy, as I told Zoe, in case nuclear war. Yeah. Just in case. Because the world's going to blame the United States, and they're going to blame the United States' politics for the Black Swan theory. Mm-hmm. They're not going to blame their parties. They're going to blame the U.S. because they couldn't raise the debt ceiling. Has anyone ever looked up the debt ceiling? We're the only country apparently in the world that has a debt ceiling. The rest of the countries don't. I mean, that's how stupid we are. So potassium iodide drops, you can get those too. You can get plus iodide tablets right there. More pills. These are for after nuclear radiation fallout. The next is, again, something that's a necessity. People say, oh, can we not do it? Yeah, if you don't want to smell, you basically put deodorant on. It helps with the sweating. You can also buy perfume, but you got to ask yourself. A lot of people say, what if we don't want to buy it? We want to buy food. Well, that's on you because, frankly, you want to make sure you're clean and you don't get any dysentery or diseases. So deodorant, in my opinion, is a must. So if you don't buy deodorant, that's your business. But deodorant is a must. That's why we put it in the preppers list. There's deodorant. The next is going to be fun. Soups. Soups are literally sold out. I told you, Zoe, the other day, stockpile your goods, your dry goods on Amazon, have it shipped to your home. That's why I keep telling you guys, because then you don't have to worry currently about the supply issues coming to a store near you. Mm-hmm. Because once the supply issues happen in stores and people realize it, they're going to go online. And then everyone's going to basically be buying up everything. And that is why, So you guys are wondering what Pee-wee said. Pee-wee was talking about how, they want to So, as Pee Wee just said, freezers are cheaper at Walmart. Unfortunately, Walmart's pickup only, and I ain't going 40 miles to go get a freezer. So, if I can order a freezer, say at Home Depot or Amazon, have it delivered to the door, it's better because I don't have the team and trucks to deliver freezer to me. So, I have to have it delivered directly to my door. So, some people need a freezer, maybe like Zoe. I was telling her, she should get one. She lives in a small home. Um, was saying the same thing. I think it was, how do you get it delivered? You have to order it and have it delivered to your home, or go to a place that sells freezers and have them deliver it for you, because it ain't gonna get any better. But these items right here, sold out soups, they're gonna all get sued. People are stockpiling their favorite foods. And since Campbell's makes some good chunky um, gumbo. Good morning, Mother Pee Wee. The point is sold out. So let's just continue. See, sold out again. Canned goods. See, sold out. This is telling you, if they're sold out on Amazon, you ain't gonna find it in the grocery stores. People are stocking it. Now, homestyle soups right here, and less sodium chicken soup. A lot of people don't like chicken soup because they took away the tasty salt. They're using a different salt, and the soup's formula changed from the 80s and 90s. So a lot of people aren't buying chicken soup because it doesn't taste that good. People will buy it as a last resort. Okay, that's the truth. But in case of a black swan situation that Teldor was talking about, and if anyone of you have seen Teldor's comments, I think Teldor's comment was basically spot on last night. He said, love his comment, by the way. He says, well, I have to say with all sincerity, Rita rocks. It didn't take her long to unravel the black swan theory, which is banking collapse. There's a reason why you are a leader of the pack. Your savvy administrative leadership skills are impressive. Keep up the fantastic work and prep your ass off like it's on fire. You are making a difference. Pee-wee, he made a comment yesterday about Pee-wee, actually. The comment was so nice, I was actually smiling about Mama Pee-wee's thing. He said, well, let me tell you what. Now that I hear Pee-wee is going to the casino, it got me to think. If I can get my brown-nosing ass out of the house to go to the casino, I could hit it big one and have enough money for a scanner. Well, that didn't happen because the wife said nope, so piss on it. Oh, by the way, Pee-wee sounds like she's got her shit together, prepping. She must be taking Rita's lead. Kudos to the flock. Pee-wee and I work together as a team, to a point, But Pee-wee made a comment this morning. I said 2 years ago, Pee-wee knows I said this, that if anything happens, we'd end up with President Harris as president. Kamala Harris. Why? Well, I'm not going to hide this because, it's something to talk about. And I want to say something else I want to say this morning, okay? I was reading an article this morning, and it got me to thinking. Yes, I was reading an article, and as I said, if anyone wants to donate to me, feel free to. I just added a couple tablets and a new phone. My Google phone I use for everyday use with the free Google number. I'll show you this so you guys can understand. Last night, I tripped over some roasting pots in the bathroom, and if you can see my screen right there, you can see the mark. See, look at this. Hold on, let me turn it on so you guys can see a little better. Make sure there's no email notifications. Chloe emailed me something. Okay, it says, letting you know that Chloe's birthday's today. Okay, see, look at this. All right? For example, see that? Fuck. You see that in the screen? Right there, the entire screen is completely and thoroughly cracked. I don't know if you guys can see it that well. Let me see if I can do it this way. Let's show you real quick. Okay, so there's an article, right? You see the cracks? The entire screen's cracked. So there's always worried I'm going to basically... So if any of you want to donate a Motorola phone, stylus, or a tablet, Samsung tablet, feel free to. So this article, I was reading this morning, right? Says Republicans are on a collision course with the White House, which is demanding Congress to raise the debt limit without conditions. If they fail to resolve their differences, the range of consequences include a stock market crash, a recession, higher interest rates for consumer, weaker dollar, U.S. credit downgrade. Now, I was telling Dad last night, during the Obama administration, the Republicans didn't raise the debt ceiling, and we got our credit rated graded. And Obama said, "Oh, we'll work on getting it better." And then Mama Pee Wee also said earlier, sent me an email, which I already talked about, is some jackass on YouTube saying we're getting $500 to $900 stimulus checks. We're not. It's a guy's got nothing to make content wise, so they're basically saying, oh, stimulus checks. He has nothing better to do but get everyone's hopes up. And that is why I talk about, for you preppers out there, so shall we continue? So if you can see this, right? Chicken noodle soup. No one likes chicken noodle. Cream of mushroom with roasted things sold out. See? Campbell's condensed tomato soup sold out. Paper plates. A lot of people say, well, what's that? That's for a short-term thing if you need to have paper plates and paper forks and stuff, or plastic forks, sorry. I don't think you want to eat with a paper fork because it would dissolve very quickly with whatever you're eating, like soup. Yeah, so point is, this is a short-term idea, but I would recommend, as I was telling Mr. Kane the other day from Idaho, I think he said it was, that, what was it I said to Kane the other day? Always keep dish soap on hand. You can wash your dishes with cold water if you don't have hot water, because, that you also have to conserve your butane if you do have a cook stove and your power's out because of the black swan theory. So there's some more plates. And these are short-term options. That sold out. You see that? The disposable stuff sold out. The disposable stuff here is available. Now, another thing that people are stockpiling still, some are basically skipping it and putting the $64 into food. Kudos to you sticking the $64 in food. But some people are still worried about the coronavirus, and so they're basically buying hand sanitizer. Video talks about the state of Georgia giving out money, not the feds. I only watch this video. Oh, well, I'm glad you make nasty comments, because I started making nasty comments a long time ago, Mama, on a lot of shit. And you know what? I got banned in a lot of them because I told them outright that they're full of shit. I told them there was going to be no more stimulus checks. They told me I was full of crap. Eventually, they banned me because they didn't want me commenting on the channels. And so I don't believe in any of these things. Same goes for some of you guys out there with the mega preppers. The mega preppers are losing subscribers. I know a couple mega preppers that email me. They like to cull my information from time to time. It seems the community of preppers look at each other's content to see if we're making any valid contributions to the system. And frankly, you got a guy, we won't give names, who's prepping, saying, buy my crap and you would prepare for World War III. Now, I just saw a report saying that if World War III, we could probably win on ground forces, but we couldn't win on naval battle. So think about that. Zoe and I were talking about that last night. So can we continue? Yes, because we got a lot to cover this morning. The next is sourdough starter. Sourdough starter is something that will grow daily, so you can make a little loaf of bread every day if it's just you. Now, if it's your family, you want to double up on the sourdough starter, triple up, or even quadruple up. But as long as the sourdough starter is growing every day, you will have your bread, and I like sourdough myself, And there is a grain shortage. Again, we are importing most of our grain from Ukraine. So if we can't get grain, then, whatever. The next item that is a plus that doubles up is 2 items. You can use this as a bread maker to make your favorite breads, zucchini bread, banana bread, or my favorite dish, meatloaf. Those little mini pans makes a good little meatloaf. That's all you need. One little meatloaf and some gravy. Throw in a side of fried onions and potatoes as a side. You got supper, and you didn't have to do much, but you can also take those little mini meatloaf pads and double Ziploc bag them in gallon-sized bags and put them in your freezer after you put all the meatloaf together. So then when you want a meatloaf, you pull it out, put it in the oven, And after you defrost it, and then you cook it to the right temperature, 350, and an hour later, it has got meatloaf. Some of these bread pans are larger bread pans, but still, bread pans will come in handy for you making bread. Now, some of you said to me, well, what happens if I can't make bread because I have, and there's um, the black swan theory, Now, I'd like to get Mama Pee-wee's thoughts on this banking collapse because we've been talking about it for a while. So yeah. So Mama Pee-wee got a stimulus check because she filed taxes. Way to go, Mom! So anyways, I want to hear her opinion on the black swan. Oh, actually, can't do it because she left. So she just wanted to come in and talk about the stimulus checks. I guess maybe I ruffled someone's feathers this morning. I don't know. So shall we continue because I got a lot to cover this morning. You already know about the mini. So one of the items I was going to talk about is these hurricane lamps are good if you own your own home or you're renting a home and the manager doesn't care if you're using them as a power source or a light source. The top one's a good deal. The bottom one is a bad deal. Bottom one is I buy more of those red ones than I would buy of the blue ones. Just saying. Mm-hmm. So Mama Pee-wee said, okay, bye, and but she knows I've done this list so many times, but this list is needed for some of you because some of these items a lot of people are asking. I just chose that. So another is kerosene or lamp oil, right? Lamp oil, kerosene, smokeless. There's um, fuel right there on the bottom. You can see you can buy that for your room, but always make sure you keep a window cracked so you don't have carbon monoxide poisoning. Yeah, gallon of fuel right now is $27, so just take that into consideration. I would take that. I would do batteries over that because I live in an apartment, but some of you can do it. The next is candles and candle holders. Candle holders and candles will be good as long as you know where you put your candles and you're not going to basically burn down your place if you have kids. That's why I recommend the battery lanterns for you and your family if you have kids because they can't knock it over and set your house on fire. So candle holders are for those people that are very safety secured and knows how to use it. The next up is the scented candles in the jars. Scented candles come in handy for two reasons. You can use light, and you can use it to cover the smell when you pass a loaf in the toilet. Yeah. So think about it from that point of view. Yeah. So, anyways, you know, on that aspect. But the point is when it comes to you preppers, you got to think, will this come in handy? Scented candles, in my opinion, they always come in like little glass tubes and stuff like that. They're more safer. I would recommend using any and all scented candles. That's why we gave you a bunch of scented candle packs. Next is one of Pee-wee's, or not Pee-wee's, Zoe's suggestions. WD-40 keeps them out of hand in case you need to lubricate your can opener or something. Just buy a three pack, and that'll help you out immensely in various things. If you have a car, again, if you have a car and you have a garage, your garage might be better to keep it because someone might want to steal your car or steal your car for parts. I was telling this to Higgins last night. So the trowel is if you have a garden, you can use it for gardening and everything else. Or you can buy yourself full shovel or shovels as needed. I would be cautious of buying shovels unless you have a use for it, or a hoe, or a sickle, or whatever. You just gotta, if there's a situation where you lose your home, you don't want to have excess junk you can't carry. But for the first part, I will explain other things. Now, laundry soap's a must. Remember the whole hand crank thing? That will help you out immensely for prepping. I mean, you can do your laundry. Now, if you got evicted because, there's no money and you can't pay your house, well, you got to take into account how far you're going to go. A lot of people say, oh, we'll just live in our cars. Maybe, but what if there's no gasoline? What if the gas stations go under? You see, the U.S. government's not telling us everything. See, right there, more laundry soap. I highly recommend the gallon size. That's what I was telling Zoe. Buy the gallon size. Next is Ziploc bags. Some of the Ziploc bags here right on the bottom sold out. So let's just continue with that. See, you got quarts there and you got quarts here. So $23 for 120 bags. $23. You got to ask yourself, are you going to be using a lot of Ziploc bags? Yes, get them. If you want to get a generic brand, double up anyway. Some of these Ziploc bags are made faulty. I think they're made in China, but I don't know. Quart size again, 136, $24. Gallon size, 150 gallons. That's what I buy. I just buy gallons, stick everything in gallons, and use it from there. $22 for 150. Next is 80 count, $11. Next one is sandwich size. If you need to make sandwiches and stuff like that, sandwich size, $5 for 90. Next is a variety pack, sold out. Next is raisins, sold out. The next is raisins. Raisins can be used to add to your raisin brand. It can be used for lower your sugar level. It can be used for many things, but you got to also ask yourself the question, if you're buying 10 pounds of raisins, are you going to be paying $72? Now, if you're wealthy, you can spend whatever money you want and be done with it, But for the price conscious, it might not be beneficial for you to buy 10 pounds of raisins because of the price. So, like this one's sold out. This one is 51. This one's 72. This one's 45. This is 40. Next is protein shakes. A lot of people say to me, well, protein shakes, what's the deal? That's a use if you can't find meat and it's an alternative for your protein. No, I don't recommend a liquid diet. I don't. But there is things you can do to survive in a prepping situation. Protein shakes are good as an emergency backup source. I also tell people, and it's in the preppers list, is vitamins. Next up is nuts. As you can see, the trail mix sold out up on top. Other trail mix is good. It is a prepping tool for people who need to have protein and other snacks. Now, the price it depends. If you're going to pay $13 for 48 ounces, that's what, 4 pounds? Do the math. Do you want to pay it? Maybe. You might not want to pay it? Maybe. It just depends. But it's your money. It's not mine. I personally don't like to eat trail mix, but it's there for people that want to substitute their protein and other necessities. There's other trail mix yogurts. Now, mixed nuts, again, form a protein. I don't like mixed nuts, so to me, I'm not a mixed nut kind of gal, but there is people that want mixed nuts. That will be a form of protein, but you got to also ask yourself, are you willing to pay a pound and a half of mixed nuts for $12? Me, no. I would rather spend my money on stuff that, we got cranberry trail mix, gift cards there if you ever want to find it. If you want to send me one, feel free to. No pressure. The next up is very important, flour. Now, we've talked about flour time and time again as a prepper. Flour is being imported, grains being imported from Europe, fertilizers being imported from Europe. We have droughts, we have food shortages, we have natural disasters. The food chain supply is unstable. Look at the chickens. 200 million chickens have been killed. Yeah, 198 to 202 million, give or take 2 million plus or minus currently. So that's something you need to think about. So flour is something that you need for making bread. And as you can see, some flour sold out. Other flour is $50. This stuff here is $35, but that's for soft wheat for pizza dough, bread, and pasta. This stuff here is sold out. This stuff here is 4-pound bag, $36. This 5-pound bag, $12. So think of it. You want to get flour, and you want to get as much flour as you can because you can make breads to go with your meals. You can make sandwiches too. You got peanut butter. Some people don't like peanut butter, but that will basically help you out in the long run. And the next up on the preppers list is oils, cooking oils. Cooking oils are getting expensive. $12 per 1 pound of corn oil. Yeah. So if you if you deep fry or whatever, keep several gallons on hand. Peanut oil, again, $17 almost for a gallon. So you got to ask yourself, are you willing to buy, that? Canola oil, again, canola oil is $16. This is stuff that people use. Now, I don't use a lot of oil in my foods. Literally, I only use it for browning chicken. Otherwise, I don't use cooking oil in my foods. That's why, the next up is vegetable oil. Again, very expensive. Now, a lot of you out there, like me, does not like sardines or anchovies. But for the people that like sardines and anchovies, you got to ask yourself, are you willing to buy a little under 4-ounce cans of sardines and extra olive oil with jalapeno peppers for $36? Now, if it's your only form of protein and you like sardines and that's the only thing you can get a hold of because of the SHTF situation, then you buy the sardines and anchovies. But I won't buy it, so but it's there. But again, it's $36. The next is something that I put in the preppers list is a FC72 antenna adapter, which hooks up to small TVs like pocket TVs. So your pocket TVs you can buy for $20. You hook that up and buy yourself a digital to analog converter box with a digital antenna connected to the digital to analog converter, followed by the antenna to the digital input, then followed by that device. You'll have your portable TV running, but again, eventually the generators at the news station will run out of gas, and that means your TV would pretty much be useless. So this is why I put in digital analog converters. If you guys have old TVs and you want to convert it to watch the news, but just be wary. That is a short-term fix. The long-term fix is compasses. Now, if you're bugging out, a compass will be handy. If you're walking on foot, a compass will be handy. But if you're staying in, no. But compasses are there if you need it. Next is a survival gear bag. Now, some people say, this will come in handy. You get your small first aid kit. You get all your tools you need. That is if you need. If you're, I would only buy this if, you have to be on foot and you have to leave your area you live in because, you lost your home or if you're, whatever. So otherwise, I wouldn't think about putting something like this together for the money. I'd put more money into food. But again, this is like a semi-luxury item, depending on if you have a use for it. Some people put it in as their bug out bags. Now, we can talk about bug out bags later, but for the sake of the preppers list, the items here are literally luxury items. Most people would sit there and say, oh, well, I got this for my car. But what if your car doesn't go anymore? What if has anyone ever thought, I'm going to speed this up on these, right? There's more kits here and more kits here and more kits here and more survival kits here, another survival kits here. There. Peanut butter sold out. So we'll get to the canned meats here. But let me just tell you a story. If you're prepping and the banking collapse happens, like, I've been trying to teach you about for a while, one of the big things, not Civil War, not World War III, banking collapse. What happens when you can't get your money out of the bank? They close the doors and say no money for you. And then you find out the grocery stores is cash only and the gas station's cash only. And the gas station decides to raise prices because they can, because there's no regulation currently at the pump. Think about it. Only the wealthy will be fueling up their fueled trucks and their cars. But problem is, it means they're stuck just like us because some of the wealthy might have prepped, some of the wealthy don't think anything happened, or the wealthy commit suicide because they're broke down, because they don't have the money to pay anything. And so no one realizes that if you have a car you're financing and there's no money, you can't make the payments, your car's repoed. Or if there is no one to, to repo your car, someone might be getting an idea to go in the middle of the night, steal it, and then chop it up. So then, when the government does finally step in, they see, say, 300 million cars, hypothetically, has been chopped up for parts and sent overseas for car parts because people are doing it. This is the craftiness that might come down the pipe, just in case. So you got to think of that aspect too. Your car might be chopped up. So, you got to ask yourself, if you have a car, you're going to be driving it in a pandemic where gas stations were more likely to be cash only or shut down. And that means no fuel. The next items on your list for protein is Vienna sausages and chicken breast. Now, again, you got to ask yourself, the question is 4.6 ounces, 24 cans, $20. Will you buy it? You're better off buying more likely Hamburger Helper and stockpiling as much hamburger as you can. 12 pack of 5 ounce cans of meat, chicken breasts, 5 ounces, not a good deal. Right here, sold out of 12.5 ounces, sold out of 24 cans, sold out of 10 ounces. This one here is 10 ounces. You got to ask yourself, pack of 12 10-ounce cans of Valley Fresh chicken breast and water. Will you pay $43 for 12 packs of 10 ounce? You could. Question is, you got to be very, very careful, frugal with your money. So think about it from that point of view. Yeah. So the next up on the list is more chicken breasts. Again, you got to ask yourself, are you willing to pay $19 for 5 ounce cans, pack of 12? Maybe. That's a little bit affordable. This here, Vienna sausages, right? Chicken Vienna sausages, 24 cans, $17. Will you buy it? Maybe. 4.5 ounce cans, pack 24 of Swanson's. Would you buy it? I wouldn't, but it's your money. Chicken and water, right? Chicken and the water sold out. Let's just skip that. Tuna, $32 for 12 ounce cans of tuna and oil. You can find tuna and water. You can find tuna and oil. The question is, how much are you willing to pay for your tuna? And if your family likes tuna. Some people don't like fish in general. I don't mind a tuna sandwich once every 6 months, but that's as far as I draw it. As long as it's got mayonnaise in it, I'll eat it. But if you eat tuna every day, that's a different story. You see, solid white albacore tuna, sodium and low sodium and water, 5 ounce cans. Again, $30. You got to ask yourself, are you going to pay $30 for albacore? If you like albacore, go for it. Skipjack, $39. Again, 5 ounce cans, 12 of them. The next one is wild albacore, $48. Rounding it off, by the way, 5 ounce again. Bumblebee like tuna, pack of 24, 5 ounce can, $24. Again, you got to ask yourself, where is your price limit for prepping? You want to make sure you get the best value for your money. Chicken of the Sea, 12 pack, $36 for this, right? How's this? Cooked, peeled, and deveined shrimp. They send it in a freezer pack, right? You get freezer box, $7. You can make homemade gumbo for a week, but you got to make sure you have the freezer space for the shrimp. And two is you have to make sure you have the electricity needed for your freezer. And if your freezer, you can't, you could smoke shrimp, but you got to basically ask yourself, this is more like a luxury thing, Next up is canned mackerel or packaged mackerel, 24 pack, $52. Some people don't like mackerel, so you got to ask yourself, how much are you willing to pay? Some of the stuff is alternatives for your protein needs. 10 pack, 3 ounce tin, petite smoked oysters, $30. Worth it? No, but it's a form of protein for some of you people that like this stuff. Next up is Kipper snacks. 18 pack, $60. Would I buy it? No. Why? Because that's 18 pack of small little fish fillets. Not worth it. But for some of you that get stuck in the rut of not prepping fast enough and then you only see canned fish available, that's when you turn around, So, anyways, That's why I say what I say, right? Yeah. So another Kipper snack sold out. This one here is $38 for 12. This one's 38 for 12. This one's 3.5 ounces, 35 for 18. Smoked scallops right there, $48. Colossal scallops, 22 for frozen. Fancy smoked baby clams sold out. So you got baby smoked clams there, $45 for a pack of 10, 3.6 ounces. Baby clams, 3.75 ounces, $30. This again is a form of a protein thing. And then we get down to the bottom, anchovies, $21 for a pack of 12 in olive oil or tomato sauce is $18.50. Again, if you can stomach the anchovies or the sardines, highly recommended. If you can, I can't. So to me, not going to work. That's why I only put it in there for the people of lover of sardines and anchovies, like my husband. Yeah, that if he was alive. Soybean and oil with hot green chilies, $17. Boneless sardines, olive oils, $30. Again, you got to ask yourself, $30 for 12 cans. This stuff used to be like 50 cents a can. Think about it. $20 for a pack of 18 chicken of the sea, right? Wild Planet sardines, pack 12, 26. 12 pack of ocean sardines, 11. Next is your portable TV. Portable TVs will come in handy for the short-term preppers. You can charge the battery, you can do everything you need, but for the long-term prepping, if a black swan event happens, you're not going to be able to use it that long. So you might want to look at $137 in food. Think about it. Next up is your compass again. The next item is very good if you don't have one, a manual can opener. That is going to open up your grub. You're going to need to open your food, and you're going to need to open your food fast as possible. Yeah, so think about it from my point of view. You open your food, you get your food, you eat your food. Now, as I told Higgins the other day, Centrum Silver for women or men would come in handy if you need extra vitamins. Now, of course, he's like, yeah, but it doesn't have B6, that much of it. They're trying to make a complete vitamin. You don't need 10,000 milligrams of vitamin C. So there's Centrum Adult, $12. Magnifying glass is a prepper's tool if you have to start a fire. That's all it's for. Use caution when you buy one because that, you can also use it if you have bad eyesight and you got to read a newspaper. But you get the point. But back then, more likely if a banking collapse happens, they're not going to be publishing newspapers. Yeah. The next up is very important in your kit of survival is a sewing kit. So you want a sewing kit with all the sewing and threads you need. You can even double it for the price and keep it on hand because cotton is in short supply, and so you can fix your clothes so you don't have to run out of clothes during this pandemic. You'll be reusing your clothes. You'll be learning a skill, which is sewing. All right. This is sold out. Don't worry about parachute cord. That's only used, you can buy it as a third-party support, but parachute cord will come in handy for some people that need to tie stuff. Bungee cords is those for bungee cords for securing stuff, cars, houses, whatever, right? Fortunately, that's a luxury item because if your car has no gas or you're told you can't leave or you're going to exodus somewhere, you might not find a gas station. So your car might be parked on the side of the road when it run out of gas and you have no money to put gas in it. So it's not worth, in my opinion, but it's all up to you. All-weather grade electrical tape, good deal. Always keep electrical tape, plumbing tape, and duct tape just in case. Highly recommended at all times. Tape is a staple I would keep on hand. Right there. Next is yeast. As you can see, once in a mill, dry yeast right there to make breads, cakes, pies, pizza dough, etc. That stuff is a necessity for making bread. Now, Fleischmann's on the bottom, as you can see, is sold out. So, highly recommend you get your bread makings and make it at home. Then, you don't have to rely on the bread lines or running out of bread. And we'll get to the other thing in a bit, okay? The next is your sugars. As you can see, sugars can be used for um your um your maple your sugars can be used for your breakfast. Maybe your cereal, your oatmeal, your cream of wheat. Trust me, sugars are necessary if you like to bake. But you also got to ask yourself, you're in a prepping or an SHT, if the banking collapses, how many people are going to be running out trying to find apples to make a pie? So you got to take the baking into account for what you will need and how much sugar you're going to need for a year, because most people won't be finding apples or oranges or whatever to make pie. The next up is maple syrup. Again, maple syrup's a staple. You put it in your cereals, you put it in your cream of wheat, you put it in your oatmeal. You got to ask yourself, what are you going to use it for? What if you want French dips? Or not French dip, French toast. And you can't, because you can't get eggs. So you got to look into that. Think of that with it. Baking bread sometimes, or baking something requires eggs. You might not be able to do it because the dairy ain't going to be running, right? So farmers are going to have too many eggs, and they're going to start eating them themselves down, giving them to their close farmer friends, whatever else, yada, yada, yada. Well, the rest of you that are living in little tent cities maybe won't be having any use for, so use your money wisely and buy accordingly to what you have. A lot of stuff will be not available. So when you think about, let's use Mama Pee Wee, Fanny, and Zoe as examples. They want to make apple pie, but they can't get the apples. They got the flour, they got everything else, but no apples. Then what? No pie. Think about it. So maple syrup, again, is a plus. Another thing is poultry seasoning. A lot of people say, oh, well, we can. A lot of people in the crash of 29 didn't have the seasoning. They just cooked what they had. Why? Because that's what they did. So when it comes to food, a lot of people, I want to tell you a story, okay? A lot of people buy foods. They buy fancier foods because they don't want to go out to the store, so they say $20 for a pound hamburger. You need $20, buy yourself 10 pounds of hamburger at Walmart. Just get off your ass and do it. You need to be motivated before shit hits fan. But for some people out there that wants a poultry season, get your poultry seasoning. But the problem with your poultry seasoning is this. What if you don't have turkeys or chickens available? Grocery stores aren't, So, anyways, the bottom line is you got to ask yourself, when and how much are you going to need? If there's no chicken available, you might want to get maybe a couple small jars of poultry seasoning. A big blocky one, you better have enough chicken in your freezer. Black peppercorn above, again, peppercorn's good, but you got to ask yourself another question that's when you're prepping is, how much are you going to need of a jar of pepper for putting it on something to eat, right? So if you're a prepper, you have your staples, you have everything you need, you're good. But if you're a non-prepper that's starting out thinking, oh crap, we got to get together and do this now, and you look over this list, you got to ask yourself, do you have the freezer? Do you have the meats for your pepper? Because if you're just going to sit there and buy ramen and then hope like hell you can survive, you won't need black pepper then. Let's continue. Because of it, you got to ask yourself, what are you going to use the pepper for? Bouillon, another thing is a lot of people say, oh, bouillon's expensive. It is, but thing is that bouillon's used for gravies, for soups, etc. But if you don't have ingredients to make soup, and by the way, you also got to take into account if there's a SHTF situation, and you're making soup, you got to also take into consideration another possibility that you need to double, triple, quadruple, whatever. In an apartment situation, the manager will throw a shit fit, trust me, and say it's a fire hazard to carry 100, 200, 300 cans of butane stored away. Would you guys give me a couple moments? I got to use the restroom, but you get the idea. You got to look at your fuel consumption too, and we'll get to that in a bit. But chew on that for a minute. I'm going to go and use the toilet. I'll be right back. Happy birthday, Chloe. Oh, man. Using that soap?
Yeah,
I came in, pitched a quick load, get back out there.
I think I'll come here tonight.
I got to take the bathroom later. You sure? And that bathroom 3848. I don't like soap for myself.
Sure, I get my body shaved. I'll shower.
Okay, peeps, I am back. Had to use the toilet. Sorry about the delay, everyone. So, a couple updates for you. I brushed my hair. So, as you all know, we are on bowling cubes, which I'm trying to speed this up. Uh, because of the preppers out there. Sorry for the long wind. I don't need to explain that when I do these videos, they're not scripted. So, I don't believe in scripts, but let's get back to it. So bullying cubes is good for food, literally. Bullying cubes are good for food, right? Let's continue. Batteries is another thing you want to stockpile as much as, right? Get as many batteries as you can carry in Red Dawn, food, etc. You want AA batteries mostly because that's what everyone uses. AAA is only used for your TV remotes. Think about that. Unless you have an item that takes AAA batteries, you want AA's. Now, if you have a mag light that requires D batteries or C's, then get those too, but more likely not. Now, a lot of people say, oh, buy a rechargeable battery station. You can buy a rechargeable battery station, but what's the point of using it if the recharging? We're about 55%, so let's get done. Body wash, shampoo, conditioner, shaving cream, razor blades are all toiletries that you need to make sure you stay clean. Now, you could sit there and say, but how do I do it? Think about it. There's no power, and they shut you off because the Great Depression 9.0 happens, right? And you sit there and you say, oh, well, what do I do? Simple. You take your cleaning supplies and you take a bath weekly like every farmer does. Because that's the way you're going to have to do it. You're going to have to change your things out or make your bath every 4 days because you're going to have to draw the water, heat the water, put it in your tub, and scrub clean. And sometimes, but not least, as you're running the water, you might even see I put soaps here. So this is all soaps, Amish Farms, Irish Spring. You'll have to heat the water. Now, think of the other problem with your fuel. You're going to have to, power goes out and you're using a camp stove. You're going to have to make sure that you have the soaps needed for your bath. Now, you might just do like my family did in Alaska, 1 day a week baths. Girls go first, boys go second, and reuse the bath water. Just keep putting fresh water in until it's all done. Yeah. Shaving cream's a must, but just remember, some of you guys might just have to grow a beard, depending on if you can't find a razor blade. I'll get to all that in a minute. Women might have to let their legs go hairy, and use the shaving cream sparingly for the month. That's $17, as you can see, $20. Razors here, $20, $27, etc. for 6-blade razors. You might even have to downsize and hope like hell you can get a bag of razors dirt cheap. But you have to think about your economy and your finances. Next is a straight edge. Straight edge is only used by barbers, but if you know how to use it and you don't slit your throat, you can use one of those too as a razor. The next up is ibuprofen and naproxen. These are actually available. I paid $12 for my bottle, I believe, of ibuprofen. Naproxen 300 count for $9. Get your over the counter. Your ibuprofen or acetaminophen sold out. A lot of places are selling out and they're not getting it in. The next is something that could be considered a luxury item. You only use this as a last resort. Fishing lures. Fishing lures are there if you need to get dinner and you're in an area where you're fishing and there's going to be a lot of people fishing. There's going to be overfishing and overhunting. Remember, without no warden, they're going to try to catch enough food to survive, but eventually the fish might run out. So use this as a luxury item if you need to. A lot of people think a string and a hook might work, but just a pin. So lures are here. Next is a fly fishing kit. Now, there's this one here. If you buy a fly fishing kit, you get everything you need except for flies. Well, you do get a small box of flies. $300. This will basically go with you. Comes in a tube. You can carry it with you if you're bugging out, but you want to make sure you keep your fly rod with you at all times because that's one of your tools for using for cooking food. To me, it's considered a tool. To me, I consider a fly rod a must. But then again, that's me. I can deep fry trout and eat it. So the next is flies. Literally flies again. Right on the bottom here is you can get one box, 2 box, 3 box, depending on your size you want, and that will keep you well good for a long time. As long as you have everything else you need for fly fishing. You can buy a basic rod, but it might not work. Now, Tenkara is smaller. They are rods where you have a line holder and you don't have the reel that sits on your rod. So, they can get down to 20 inches where you can just throw it in a bag and go. That's what Tenkara is. It's Japanese fly fishing. Highly recommended. These one here are small, compact to catch trout, small to medium trout, pretty much. This here is only buy this if you have the time to can, because say that SHTF hits the fan, what happens? You don't have you can't take a canning pot with you or your canning pots, but in the meantime, you can basically keep on prepping as long as you know what you're doing. But this is for jams and jellies, right? Pressure cookers needed for um, gravies and meats and stuff. Now this here is sold out. See that 16-ounce jars sold out. 32-ounce in stock. Again, we talked about the portable TV. I can skip that portable TV. If you get one that runs on AA batteries, good. If you're getting one with a rechargeable battery, TVs are only good for short-term uses, not long-term. Long-term, you don't want to tote your $100-$200 portable TV with you because, if you have to bug out or end up in a tent, you don't want someone trying to pinch it for 50 cents or trade it for food when, you bought it thinking you need it. Now, portable radio like this, it takes AA batteries, not rechargeable, will come in handy. Just want to make sure you protect it. But again, you got to ask yourself, how many people out there who's using shortwave radios are going to be keeping the radio communications open? A lot of people use their phones, but without internet, without phone, without communications, without power, the radio stations are pretty much dead. Yeah. So we're about 60 whatever. All right. So portable radios will come in. Next is a comprehensive first aid kit. You want to do that because doctors and offices will be full. And might not get in for weeks or even months. And so if you have a sprain or a broken bone, you need to know how to learn to set it yourself. So that's a skill set you need to learn, as well as a skill set for fishing if you know how to fish or hunt, or even, but not limited to, other skill sets like fishing, etc. Get prepped, get moving. First aid kits is a must. I don't need to keep sharing it with you. Prepper's Canning and Preserving Bible. That would come in handy for you. You want to get books, okay? A lot of people say, oh, well, how many books do I need? You need books that will help you prep and help you survive. Anything else might be a bonus. Anything else. This here is the Survival Bible, 13-in-1, a good deal. Again, Prepper's books is what you want, usually. The next is a cooler. Now, a cooler is only used for 2 purposes: keeping your stuff cold so you don't expire, and 2 is in case you're no power. Short-term use is for your freezer. For a long-term use, you don't want a cooler because if you have to, your meat should be smoked, and then you're fine. But for long-term use, a cooler would not be good due to the fact, again, a lot of preppers are saying, well, we're prepping for short term. Yeah, well, if there is a black swan issue, you need to prep for the long term, which means making sure you have long term stability, which is mostly can. The water jug would come in handy, but the water jug would not come in handy due to the fact that what if you run out of refrigerator electricity? Then what? The water jug's useless. Next is ramen. Okay, this is one of my favorite staples. Bouillon cube, ramen, make a pot, you eat it. Doesn't matter if it's soup or not. What matters is you eat, right? $10 a case, $7.58 a case. Highly recommended. Highly recommended. It's one of my all-time favorite comfort foods. Cheap and efficient. 2 packs, bouillon cube, etc. So it says here, Teldor wrote this morning, well, peeps, the time is to prep is now. It could get $2 I could be $2. Okay, well, peeps, the time to prep is now. I could get be two fucks that you think I'm a brown nosing son of a bitch. Blah blah blah. Love how he says that. It is. Is it time to prep? Yeah, it is. It's fucking time to prep, people. I saw this morning a report that stated right there: if they don't raise the debt ceiling, stock market will crash. You bet your sweet ass it is. What is it going to take to get you shitbirds to prep like an Egyptian and move your ass? When Rita says jump, you say how high. Exactly. Thank you, Teldor. You see, this is the reason why I got up this morning. I was trying to stay nice and toasty in my bed, but I couldn't. But it's true, right? It's true. So, ramen is one of my favorite foods and staples. I would buy ramen as my first priority. The next up is toilet paper. A lot of you shitbirds basically turn around and you don't think of how much toilet paper you need. Think about it. If you go to the store and the banking system collapses, you shitbirds will not be able to buy toilet paper. So all this toilet paper in the preppers list is what you're going to need to wipe your ass. And that's not including, but not limited to any of it. See, some of it's sold out. See this? They're starting to sell out of it. Right here. Sold out. Next up, see, toilet paper and paper towels are going to be a commodity. Some people say they could trade it for a can of soup. No one's going to trade toilet paper for soup. No. You see, a lot of preppers think if I have extra food, I can basically use that extra food to trade for toilet paper. No. Next is paper towels. Again, you shitbirds need to make sure you have paper towels. A lot of people say, oh, $34 is expensive. You know what? It costs money to cut a tree down and make it into paper. So you can either wipe your ass with a paper towel or wipe your ass with a napkin or wipe your ass with a toilet paper. Think about it. It costs money to make these things. But when you guys got to look at your finances, you get what you can. And I'm going to basically be rude soon because I have something to say to you shitbirds that you need to realize, okay? Next up, getting more stew. Another form of protein. Stockpile as much. See, pack of 12, $23. Will that feed you? Yeah, it's a 15-ounce can. One meal for you one day. 12 cans, that's 12 dinners. Right there. 20-ounce cans, sold out. Pork and beans. Look at this. 24-pack beanie weenies barbecued. $66. I'd put my $66 as something else, but some people like their beanie weenies. $44, you see. Next up is 8-ounce can of 24, sold out. Now let me tell you to you shitbirds out there today, okay, why there's a problem with beans, right? People say, oh, I can't live on beans. Let me tell you what I do with beans, okay? Make a nice pot of beans up. You're like, okay, Rita's going to talk about beans. You make a nice pot of beans. Cornbread. You can make your own cornbread or you can buy mix. I like cornbread. Cornbread and beans is a satisfying meal. Why? Because it's easy. Why would I eat it? Because it's easy. Why would I not eat it? I wouldn't. I like cornbread and beans. Fortunately for you guys sit around and you a lot of beans are being sold out because people are stockpiling beans. They hear, oh, beans will last a while. Yeah, but man can't live on beans alone. Eventually, if you eat enough beans, you won't be farting either, So beans right there, $18, 12 cans. 16-ounce, 1-pound cans, 12-pack, $28. 1-pound cans, 12-pack. Original beans, $42. Bush's baked beans, 16-ounce cans, $27. You're gonna get a good deal if you make your own case through Target, for example. $26 for beans right here, 16-ounce cans. Go down here, Vanny Camp's pork and beans, 15-ounce cans, pack 12, $16. A lot of people like paying $16. That's like what, under $2 a can. Yeah, and people can live on one can a day. So if you get 24 cans for a year, you have 24 meals. You got to do the math for it. But you guys, you basically think nothing's going to happen and the government's going to raise the debt ceiling. It's not going to be like that. So, shall we continue? I want to continue. Yes. I want to continue, people. Here we go. Get rid of that. My email box. Okay, cool. So, next up on the list, see, we're speeding up. Playing cards. Playing cards, people say, oh, well, I can take my money and put it into food. You can, but if you have kids and they can't play their Nintendo Switches or their PS4s or 5s because there's no power and they can't play with their buddies and there's no internet, you better have a backup plan. Board games and playing cards will come in handy. That's why I put Uno in here. That's why I put in 2-pack or Uno there, or the Uno wild card game, or Hoyle cards. Hoyle cards can be used. A lot of people in the 1800s played cards. Bicycle 12-pack right there. Keep 12-pack on hand. You can play. Jumbo playing cards right there, $8. The next up, a lot of you shitbirds that think, oh, well, as long as it works out of the faucet, I don't need to buy bottled water. Let me put it this way. Nuclear war happens. You better have cases of water on hand just in case for that purpose. You can't rely on the water in your house because it might be contaminated with radiation or something. And even if you get a Brita water filtration, has anyone ever tested it for nuclear radiation? No. So keep several cases of water on hand. Oh, well, it's so expensive. It's your life, not mine. Okay, if you don't want to pay for it, that's fine. But I prefer spending money on Fijis. But a lot of people say, oh, but 24-ounce bottles, 12 bottles is $31. I'll pay the $31. I'll pay the $38. A lot of these items I've chosen specifically for this prepping channel, and this preppers list is with food stamps. So don't complain. Aquapana, there you go. Aquapana, 33 ounces, 12 packs. So 12 1 liters. There you go. You got 12 bottles of water. As long as you're not taking your Aquapana and making coffee with it, you should be fine. You got to use your spring water sparingly. Next up, again, Fuji water, 50. Yeah. So you have 1.5 liters of water, 12 pack of that, $30. You see, I'd buy that right there. See, keep the Fiji water stacked up. Again, I'm a Fiji water drinker. Fiji's my choice. Next is this. If you guys sit there and you can't find a disposable safety razor, 1 to 6 blades, you can buy the Philip Norelco battery-powered razors to shave with. Throw in your batteries, you might get a little razor burn, but if you have a little extra money, you can go buy yourself a wall. Hold on, a wall. See? Wet drying is, but then again, if you have no power, that's going to basically be useless as useless can be, because once it's out, you're done. That's why I chose, see, these ones here for short term. The long term portable razors right here would be battery powered, Panasonic battery powered, AA batteries. But you say, oh, well, the only thing is you might have to get 2 or 3 of them, stockpile them away just in case you can't get your razor blades for your razor to be replaced, because some of them come from Germany and they might have a shipping. So, but that's another thing you got to take into account. All these electric razors you have to take into account for short term. Smoker, same thing. A electric smoker you don't want to buy unless you're going to smoke a lot. Otherwise, if the power goes out because you guys, the electric company can't run it. Remember what I said last night. The electric company would probably be under the Army's control, which means the Army would literally tell who gets electricity, and mostly be service people. So, Teldor wrote again, well, a lot of you shitbirds are saying it's the land of milk and honey. I don't. Chloe's ex-roommate, Cactus Blossom's always saying that 2023 is fine. Why prep, right? Well, the party is over, honey, blah, blah, blah. It's land of milk, honey, blah, blah, blah. Well, the party is over. You're one black swan event away from getting your ass handed to you. See? Teldor's completely right, people. You got to prep for it. This is what I'm doing this morning. I could be freaking playing my game, but instead, I'm doing this free out of my own heart for you guys. So, next is coffee. Eventually, people will say, well, what's the point of coffee? Well, you get coffee now and you have your caffeine. Otherwise, you're going to basically feel like crap and you're not going to want to do anything or use your daily planners or anything because you're under a caffeine withdrawal because you can't get your caffeine. So you got to prep for that too. Caffeine's basically like an addiction. So you got to ask yourself, $8 or $14? I'd go with the $8 can, but each one has their own brands. But for a prepping situation, what if, and by the way, coffee beans come from all over the world. So what if you can't get your coffee beans, huh? And there's people out there not having enough coffee. Think about it. There's going to be a lot of shortages. Coffee's going to be one of them. Milk, eggs, dairy. Farmers won't be able to, they can make the products, but they can't sell the products because there's no money to get money to transfer it to the processing plants to process your milk or your cheese or your eggs or your whatever. Think about it. The next is this. People say to me, well, why would I want to buy cast iron? Cast iron lasts a long time. Secondly, the Dutch oven alone is worth it because you can bake your fucking bread. If you don't want to buy your fucking bread, then don't worry about it. Go hungry. I don't care. Next up is Armor Star Luncheons. This is equivalent to Spam. This stuff will basically be good. You put it on a sandwich. You can put it with cheese. You can cut it up and use it in your soups. You can do so many things with this. Will be a lifesaver. It might be a little salty, but guess what? If that's all you're eating for one day, you won't be complaining. You'll be happy you have it, even if it's $25. Now, if you have cases and cases and cases, just pop one open. Take your little Swiss Army knife, cut it into pieces, pull it all out, put it on a little plate, eat it in little sections. Hell, for a side, you could use this with mac and cheese. Think about it. The next is rolled oats. This stuff will come in handy for your breakfasts. You'll be like, oh, I don't want oatmeal. Guess what? You can have oatmeal. You can have cold cereal. But if you don't have the fucking milk to run the fucking cold cereal and you have the water and your water is not contaminated, you're eating oatmeal. I will basically put my foot down and say, look, I'm making the food. You're eating fucking oatmeal. Because we don't have the finances to take the powdered milk to make it into rub. Next up is steel cut oats. Again, oatmeal. Next is brown rice, 24-pound pail. I could take a pail of rice and make meals for a fucking month. White rice, $60. Brown rice, $41. People say, oh, but the rice is so expensive. Let me put it to you this way. The rice might be fucking expensive, but whose the fucking fault is it that we had to support Ukraine and now we're getting our asses handed to us? And two is Ukraine and other countries like Asia provides us our rice. It's got to be grown, cultivated, loaded on a ship, transported to us, and then delivered into our American bucket farms where they process it into buckets and then sell it to you. So the overall cost is justified because they got to bring it in from another country because this country doesn't make their own stuff. They rely on other people to provide for them. Another thing, tea. Tea is another thing to keep on hand if you get sick or if you need caffeine. Next up is these little crackers. You see, these are like little protein snacks, right? So you can buy a pack of 16 for $15, and that could help you out to stretch your meals. Or you can take $15 and buy a case of rice-a-roni or pasta-roni. I buy the pasta-roni myself because a lot of you people need to basically learn you got to cut your expenses. And to do that, some of this stuff is luxury items. Same goes with the Keebler crackers here, the Ritz crackers. Another thing is condensed and evaporated milk is sold out. Literally sold out, gone. Why? Because everyone's using it. They want to use it for baking. You got to ask yourself, used and new, $67 for 24 cans. The only thing I'd use evaporated milk or condensed milk is for my coffee. Otherwise, unless you have a cooler to keep it cold after you open the can, it doesn't work. Next up is club crackers. Again, 4 boxes, $22. Got to do the math. Do you want to spend $22 for crackers if you don't have any cheese and dairy to put on it, or you just skip and say, oh, let some poor schlub pay $50 because that's all he can afford because he didn't prep for his what the teacher said to prep for. Instead, you went out and now you're stuck buying crackers to eat. Now the next thing is mac and cheese. All right, let me tell you about mac and cheese. You want mac and cheese that's got the dry powder. It lasts longer, not the liquid powder, the dry powder. The liquid powder, it might last 6 months before you got changed out. So just think about it. People say, oh, I'm going to get like 500 cases of Velveeta shells and cheese. It'll expire and you'll get sick from the cheese alone. Next is this. See this stuff here? 99.6 thick and creamy. Filling you up 99 cents. If they allow you 4 boxes, you get 4 boxes. If they allow you 30 boxes, you buy 30 boxes. Thing is, all it requires is milk. That's why you keep your powdered milk on hand just in case you mix up enough milk, put in that damn coffee, into your coffee and into your mac and cheese. You can live on mac and cheese, and it's a filling dinner. People say, oh, well, what about the butter? You can or cannot use the butter if you want to put it in mac and cheese. I don't, but that's just me. Again, the other thing you got to ask yourself is on the snack profile is I like to keep goldfish crackers, but you got to ask yourself, is goldfish crackers a necessity or a luxury? It's a luxury because it's just a snack. You eat it, you're done, and you can't live on it. Next is a warm coat. I always go with the Mording because they make the most warmest coats ever. Yeah. Next is your coffee percolators. Your percolators are only used as an emergency backup source if you have to make coffee and you don't have power for your drip coffee. Next down, there's a propane one. Now you say, oh, the propane one, I'll buy that one, $140. Before you go and spend $140, I would like to just say 16.9 propane cans. We're going to get the little cans will cost you about $10, $12 minimum for a 16.9 1 pound can. Might make 3 days coffee and then you're done. Think about it. $12 make three thing. So you either buy an attachment and a 5-gallon can, 5-gallon can of propane, and that might make your coffee for 2 weeks, or you just skip it all together. Some people say, oh, it might come in handy for you, it might not. Now, another thing is pet food. Pet food's running out. 10-pound bags, $21. Dog food, again, is, right there, 14-pound bag went up. I just paid $15 for 14 pounds. So think about it. Right there, see, 36 pounds sold out. Next is beef jerky. Again, a lot of people say, oh, well, I want to get beef jerky, and that's an emergency protein thing. Why? I'll tell you why. Because the emergency protein is only used as an emergency if you don't have any other forms of protein that you stocked up. And second thing is the price. You got to ask yourself, are you paying $24 for 80 pieces of jerky or $18 for 20 count of meat sticks? You need to think now before everything runs out. People aren't buying these meat sticks or these smoking snacks like this high demand product. Add it now and we'll see if we can get it in. They don't have the meats right now at the Tillamook plants. Real hardwood silver dollar, $47 for 1 can. Think about that. $47. $17 for meat sticks. 47. 17. This here, $44 for fish. Now, their former protein snacks is nuts. I always like pistachios. That's my favorite. But still, you got to ask yourself truthfully. So pistachios is a form of protein. Gotta make sure you have pistachios for protein. I like cashews too, but again, the question you gotta ask yourself, you shitbirds, is how much are you willing to pay? Nuts are a form of a backup for protein. That's a backup. Some people say, "Oh, I can't live on processed foods." Well, when the shit hits the fan, shitbirds, you don't have your preferred foods, you'll take anything you get. And you say, "Oh, I can't eat anything with a face." All right, you can go hungry then. Nuts again. Gotta ask yourself the price. See, I don't like peanuts. That's dry roasted. $39 for 6. I wouldn't eat dry roasted peanuts. I don't like peanuts. Salisbury steak again. How are you gonna cook it? Short term, it's fine. Long term, not. Next up, 12-pack of corned beef. Gotta ask yourself. $74 or $74 rice roni and hamburger helper, mac and cheese. Pasta roni. Corned beef, $34, $37 for one can. 7-ounce can, $60. 12-ounce can, $26 for 3. And think of it. You gotta ask her how much for one. Goya lunch meat, $87. $87 and get Spam. 2 cases. Good price. Next up, little hams. They went up in price. Why? People are realizing you can use those little hams. As meals will sell. 1 pound hams. You can take that ham. One can. Dice it up into onions, potatoes. You got dinner or lunch. Spam, $10 for smoked, 1 can. Bacon. People start stockpiling Spam again. Why? They're worried. We don't know if this product will be back in stock, see? Yeah. See that? Mac and cheese right here. $4.90 for 4. Auntie Anne's. Right? 12 boxes, $18. You want 12 boxes, you're paying almost the same price for Kraft. So do the math. Choose which one you like. I like them both. Next up, ramen. Some of your ramen, you sit there and you say, why $17? I'll tell you why some of the ramen's expensive. The ones that you have to add a bouillon cube is cheap because no one likes it. They don't like the flavor. They'd rather have something more, a little more of the kick, a little more flavor, like the piquant chicken. That's why the more popular ones go up in price. Nong Shim was $14 last time checked. Now it's $30. So again, think about it. You're going to pay $30 because Amazon tells you to, or are you going to pay $12 or $14 when it goes back down? You see, you got to watch it. I've seen it go as low as 22 as well. So this is why I do pricing. This stuff here, great meal. Get some, what do you call it? Some, whatchamacallit doodads. You guys are laughing at me for thinking it. Suddenly salad and Tupperware containers. As long as you have a cooling area and your mayonnaise, you're good. Mayonnaise is a staple I would keep on hand all the time, which I do. Folgers coffee ran out. They don't make it anymore. They discontinue. Apparently, not many people like coffee house. I actually like that. It was my favorite blend. When they discontinue it, I started changing blends to stuff like Seattle's Best and etc. And yes, I am opening a can. So, can we continue? Because we're about 80% done with this list. This list is huge. And I hope I don't have to go through this list for another. Powdered milk. Again, powdered milk, as you know, is a necessity. We don't have to go into detail. It comes in these food boxes right here. The 1 week emergency food source. Buy it as your only last resort. You don't get many calories, and they're not tasty. The next is potato slices, shredded. Best course of action for the price is to buy $40 in bagged potatoes and shred your own. Prep your own potato shreds. Put them in Ziploc bags and freeze them. And as you need them, you can make your own hash browns that way without paying $40. Buttermilk biscuit mix. If you know how to make buttermilk biscuits or baking powder biscuits, you don't need to pay $17. But if you don't, feel free to buy that. It's highly recommended. Scrambled eggs. You can buy 5 dozen eggs per month. Scramble them all at once. Put them in Ziploc bags. Double Ziploc bag them and have scrambled eggs on hand for when you need it during your times. Next is mangoes, $34. You can buy a better deal with mangoes, but these people, I think that some people want to use it for cooking. Chili mix, $25. Again, I spoke to about this. It's a luxury item if you're lazy. You don't know how to make chili. This will be a starter, but if you know how to make chili, use a cookbook recipe. You can get away with making probably 10 gallons of chili for probably about $25 if you know what you're doing. 10-pound chub of hamburger, and they just freeze your chili as you get it made. The next is your dinner food packs, right? Your flour. Again, get your flour when you can. There's a bucket of flour. The next is your teriyaki vegetable and freeze-dried beef, right? The reason I went with rice-a-roni is for $38, you could probably get 3 cases of rice-a-roni for one can, number 10 can at 38 ounces. Again, we will skip this. Lentils, again, lentils are expensive. Imported, so you got to see the import price. But lentils are good. Black beans are good. These two items I would go hand in hand. If you need them, you can make plenty of dishes with lentils and black beans, right? The next is vegetable stew blend. Price, I would skip it, but for some of you out there that's lazy, go ahead and buy it. You only get a 2-pound, 5-ounce point. Freeze-dried shredded cheese. A lot of people say, oh, this is a good deal. No, it isn't. You can buy on sale probably 3 2-pound blocks of cheese, shred it yourself, Ziploc it up, double bag it in your freezer, and have shredded cheese ready to go without even needing to pay $33 for one can. People don't realize some of this stuff is what we call the form of laziness, but you only buy this as a last resort. Yeah. Food emergency pail again. Fettuccine Alfredo, $26. You can make better deal at home. Fettuccine sauce, shrimp, and noodles. You could probably double or even triple the fettuccine, the noodles, and the Alfredo sauce for the same price of paying $26. So you might get 2 or 3 meals out of it instead of 4 pouches. 4. Freeze-dried fruits. If you like freeze-dried fruits, go ahead. If you like vegetable stew blend, again, go ahead. Freeze-dried white chicken meat. 1 pound of freeze-dried chicken, $80. Guess what? You can do a lot better with $80. You can probably get 60 pounds of chicken legs for a price of 1 can of that. Think about it. 5-pound chicken legs, $5 at Walmart. You can get that many. You preppers are good. Again, potato shreds, you can make your own. Save money. Chicken and rice, $15 for 1 can. You can get 1 case of chicken rice-a-roni for the price of that. So you eat 12 meals instead of 1 meal. Lasagna, $26. If you have your shredded cheeses already and you know how to balance, you probably can get away with making lasagna cheaper. Now, if you have a power outage, you could probably find a way with your stove top, as long as you're not expending your fuel to make lasagna. You can make it in a Dutch oven, but still, just be very careful on your fuel supply. Freeze-dried beef, again, $86, right? You can get 30 pounds of Walmart hamburger and 10-pound chubs compared to paying $86 for 1 can. Think about it. Chicken fettuccine, again, you can get a better deal. You can probably get 4 chicken Alfredo chicken fettuccine meals if you basically make the chicken fettuccine at home with noodles. You buy the Alfredo sauce and then the chicken. You could probably take 5 pounds of chicken legs, break it up, and make probably 6 to 10 meals of chicken fettuccine without even breaking a sweat. Overpaying $32, right? Onions, you can buy bags of onions. You could probably get away with, let's see, about 20 to 25 pound bag of freshly onions, white onions, Walla Wallas, whatever, for the price of 1 can. Pineapple, we won't even go there. $37. You can do better cutting up your own pineapple. Butter farm, $18 for powder. You use butter powder as a last resort. What you do is you buy butter and you freeze it. Butter in downsized Ziploc bags when they're on sale, 2 for $4, 2 for $6. You buy it. Stockpile butter. Doesn't matter if it's Lucerne butter. It doesn't matter if it's Tillamook butter. You just freeze it. So we'll skip the milk, skip the scones and rolls mix. You can do better at home with some flour, some yeast, starter, etc. Now the next is this one. If you're in an area where you have to have you have a king size or queen size bed, you can use a double sleeping bag if for short term for power outages, keep warm. Now for long term, you move to a tent. Now this will be your best friend. Trust me. Double sleeping bags is a must. Swiss Army knife tools. These are the best tools in the market. Get them while you can because I have them and I rely on mine all the time for opening packages and everything else. The next is your internal basic frame. They're sold out. But these are good for bug out bags, only as a last resort. And train for it before you break your back out trying to tote something this huge. Yeah. So anyways, so cane, high, pistachios, tucsons, cashews, good too. I hate almonds, chicken and tuna pockets now. Chloe come back with buffalo sandwiches that night. Oh, yeah, I had that last night for dinner. Yeah, leftovers, so, Anyways, I see we have a message from Teldor. Let's see what Teldor's got to say. The difference between preppers and non-preppers is while we are eating T-bone steaks and mashed potatoes, the non-preppers will be eating crickets and locusts. Yeah, think about it. I mean, if you look at the weekly ads and you see T-bone sale, T-bone steak, I always put it in my planner here, so it reminds me, Wednesday T-bone steak, I can sit there and say, hey, you're going to the store, Chloe. Thursday, and she'll go to the store and get T-bones. What do you think's tonight's dinner for Chloe's dinner? T-bone. Why? Because Chloe's 35 today? Happy birthday to Chloe. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, shall we continue? So, I gotta check some tents. Canvas tents are good for bugging out, and if you need to do canvas tents, So, basically, the canvas tents is something that is a must, okay? So as you can see, I'm checking my door cam. Dude, just pull the door cam up. There we go. Okay. So as you can see, if you can see my screen, it's cracked. Yeah. If you guys want to donate, that's fine. If not, no pressure. Let's just get to it, shall we? So the next is tents, right? These swag tents, canvas tents are really good. Problem is they're heavy. So unless you are going to be transporting it in a car, a pickup truck, I don't recommend buying it unless you're going to be homeless. Now, recommend if you really want to invest in a tent, get a outfitter's tent. I'll show you what I'm talking about. The 2-person Kodiak, good. As you can see, tents are being sold out. So next one's here, 147. You got to ask yourself if you're going to be bugging out or moving from your home to a tent. You need to make sure your tent's 4-season, not 3-season. 3 seasons, it won't last in winter. Again, as you can see right here, Coleman 8-person tent, $160, 3-person, not 4-season. Spring, summer, and fall. Yeah. Next up is the Amazon Basic tent, sold out again, but you'll get it when you get it. Next up is kerosene. Remember in the beginning we talked about kerosene, battery powered, and etc. Well, one kerosene lantern is currently $107 because kerosene's expensive. They choose to do that. Now, if you have a blackout due to a banking system, there's no power. That means your gas pumps won't work. Your hardware store won't be selling you kerosene. That's why I keep telling you to get prep for battery power. Now Coleman fuel, you can sit there and say, oh, I'm going to get a dual fuel lantern. Fine. But when you keep your gasoline in your shed for 6 months and there's no power outage, you need a special filter to filter it out so you can light the lantern on gasoline or Coleman fuel. Problem is once the Coleman fuel runs out, because people use it for their dual fuel stoves and lanterns, you're not going to be seeing any more Coleman fuel. And if there's no one's using Coleman fuel, then they're going to be using gasoline to cook. But what if the pumps are closed? Then how does someone get a thing, right? See, look at this. Everyone is sold out pretty much, unless you can get a used one on eBay, is camping stoves are sold out. Yeah. Next one, right there. Dual fuel again. 1 burner backpack stove sold out. Propane stove sold out. The only 2 propane stoves that are available are these 2, but it either takes an adapter for $35, which gives you a hose to hook to a 5-gallon propane tank, which if the propane's not being pumped into your cans, then you got to basically conserve your fuel for what's really needed, because no one will know when and if the government's going to restore your propane or anything. So you have to prepare for the worst. You can buy canned goods like Spam, like canned goods, and eat it cold. Some people don't like it, but you got to think what's more important, sustenance or a hot meal. And if you pay $90 for a stove and your stove doesn't work, you use it for a month and then you can't get any more fuel, use judgment. Use your judgment. Next up is this one, right? And the next one I recommend is the wool blanket. The wool blanket's pretty good. So the wool blanket's something I use every day. I can use 1 to 2 of them. I'm warm all night. I don't complain at all because it's nice. So, anyways, the next is on the list, because we're almost done, thank God. Matches. You got to ask yourself how many boxes you need. Now, if you're using it for a lantern, you're fine. If you're using it for a stove, you're fine. If you're using it to smoke a pipe, well, you might want a pipe lighter, but that might not be too good if you're, in a way, then you got to rely on tobacco. And during a massive shit at the fan situation, you won't have tobacco or beer. So just think about it. And then you got your buttermilk pancakes. You can do a lot better buying buttermilk pancakes in the cases. The dry buttermilk pancake mix by the case, right? Look at this. We're at the bottom. Food pail again, not worth the money, and the food tastes like crap. Oh, there's another blanket. Matches again. Buttermilk pancakes. There. List done. What does that tell you, people? It tells you one thing and one thing only. Is, as a prepper, you guys got to ask yourself, right? You guys got to ask yourself, right? What is essential and what isn't? If you think powering up all your electronic goodies to get you through the Great Depression 9.0, you're wrong. If you think let me tell you something that's going to be scary for most of you. Okay. I warned you. Plain and simple. I warned you. Excuse me for a second. Check an email. I always check my email, see if someone emailed me any suggestions or concerns. I have an About Me page, so you can. There we go. Nothing. Okay. So, I warned you. That's the thing. I warned you. I mean, look, let me read you what Teldor said, okay? Teldor said this morning, right? I like Teldor's answers last night. With sincerity, it didn't take Rita long to unravel the black swan theory, right? Here's the reason why I'm the leader of the pack. Your savory administrative leadership skills are impressive. Keep up the fantastic work. Prep your ass is on fire to making the difference. Yeah, well, you know what I'm going to tell you guys? I'll tell you. I'm here to tell you, okay? I was telling Zoe last night, okay? Honest truth here. I told Zoe. I always tell the truth to Zoe. I said to Zoe, out of love, that sometimes these long videos get to me. But then, something comes up where I got to address something or, whatever, like the black swan theory, right? And then, 1 hour ago, he says, well, peeps, the time to prep is now. I could be two fucks that you think I'm a brown-nosing son of a bitch. Blah, blah, blah. It is time to prep. You bet your sweet ass it is. What is it going to take to get you shitbirds to prep like the Egyptians and move your ass? When Rita says jump, you say how high. See? Thing is you're going to be either in two camps. You're going to be in the preppers camp where you're eating steak and you prepped properly. Or you're going to be in the other camp watching and trying to beat down someone's door to take their steak because you fucking think the government's going to kill them to give them their food to you. That's what most of these fucking preppers think. The ones that are surviving will survive. The ones that don't, I won't give two shits because they don't listen. Well, a lot of you shitbirds are saying it's the land of milk and honey, blah, blah, blah. Well, the party is over. You're one black swan event away from getting your asses handed. Yeah, think about it. Let me tell you what I said yesterday to all of you preppers, okay? People are financing everything. People are financing everything. You go down the street, you see some guy whip out a gas cart and he's gassing his car up like, I got a whole tank of gas. Goes out and goes to the store, uses his credit card and says, I just got groceries. Deep down in his hard work, broken heart, he doesn't plan to pay it back. He doesn't care if the country goes bankrupt as long as it's only for him. You see me with a credit card? No. You see me sitting there talking about what needs to be done? Yes. It's true. Everyone's financing between the Federal Reserve raising interest rates because everyone's financing everything to the government not raising the debt ceiling, which, mind you, I don't know which way it's going to go, honestly, okay? But if the government doesn't raise the debt ceiling, that can bring a banking collapse. You know what? Maybe it's good. Maybe these fucking rich son of a bitch Republicans will be fucking eating dirt like the rest of the people. Realizing, I'm so sorry we didn't raise the debt ceiling. Too late, dude. But you know what? It's coming because the Republicans are being complete jack-offs. But let them bring it down. You know why? It just weeds out the freeloaders. See, the problem is there's too many people financing boob jobs and face surgeries and anything else they get. This weeds them out. I want to tell you guys a funny story in a minute, okay? When the party's over, you're one black swan away getting handed. Yep. The difference between preppers and non-preppers is while we're eating T-bone steaks and mashed potatoes, the non-preppers will be eating crickets and loases. No, the non-preppers will be eating fucking dirt, plain and simple. Why? I'll tell you why. It's the freeloaders. Let me tell you what the story is, okay? You got people that are financing boob jobs. You got people financing facial surgery. Everything they want. Cars, boats, RVs. Some of it's crap. Some of it falls apart. I talked about it last night. But guess what? You know what the real kicker is about all this financing? It brings the entire empire down. Yeah. And then when they're sitting on the streets going, oh yeah, at least my boobs are good, they're in a tent. Yeah. While the preppers are sitting there going, told you so. I mean, literally. These people think there's going to be an 11-hour reprieve. Okay. This is what they think every fucking month. Okay. Oh, they're going to raise the debt ceiling in time because it's an 11-hour reprieve. Right? An 11-hour reprieve, right? You might get 5 or 6 months right now to prep until the banking collapse. It could collapse tomorrow. They say if they don't raise the debt ceiling by Thursday, then the stock market will crash. Guess what? I don't care. You know why? I've given you ample warning. That's the thing. I've given you ample warning. Most of you people want to sit there and live on sausages and, think of the people. Remember I said there's a couple things I want to share with you, right? One is, think of the elderly, okay? Your family members, your elderly moms and dads and your grandparents, right? You're like, oh yeah, what about them? Think of the elderly. They're going to be more scared than the noobs. Why? Because the noobs are going to sit there being like, hey, mom, my phone doesn't work. Oh, mine doesn't either, sweetie. Meanwhile, grandma and grandpa sitting in their home. Maybe they still have electricity. And they're sitting there. Beep, beep. All circuits are busy now. Beep, beep. All circuits are busy now. Beep, beep. If you'd like to make a call, please hang up. And they're going to sit there and think the communication's down. Then they're going to sit there and grab their tablets or their phones, text. Won't go through. Let's just say they're going to be the scared ones. They're going to be the ones wondering what the hell happened to the world. The young ones are going to be like, oh, the internet's going to come back on. Meanwhile, their whole family sitting around the table texting or talking about, meanwhile, 3-4 days later, their neighbor down the street, they see the neighbor taking the trash out, putting it away and doing whatever, right? Whatever they're doing. And they say, hey, Bill, hey, Bob. What's new, Bill? I don't know, Bob. Did you hear the news, Bill? No, Bob. Well, the banking system collapsed. No one can get their money. And, it's all these non-preppers that are basically eating dirt. That's when Bill says, oh, so the banking collapse hits, right? The first communications we will have is we'll know the banking system collapsed. We won't know the extent until things fall out of place, like the stock market, and then the banking system will crumble. And when it does, you can't get your money. Meanwhile, it will take a few days before the companies realize what's going on. You see, they're going to try to keep pushing out the bills as long as possible, right? But if there's no money, the companies can just sit there and say, well, there's no money. Turn off the power within an hour or two of the stock market crashing, reserving the power. Next thing you know, half the country or most of the country's out of power. And that's when you don't realize. And then the president's got to find a way to communicate to the American people, which you can't hear because, well, there's no power to power the radios. Now, they could sit there, the president could sit there and say, oh, under emergency pretenses, turn on the power to the TV stations and the radio stations, right? And the government affiliates, right? But keep all the other power grids off that has homes. All of a sudden, got to call the Army National Guard, yada, yada, yada. You get the point, right? Meanwhile, we're out of power because we don't have any money, but they got to run things. Then they say, oh, Mr. President, what about the bank? Leave the banks closed. They can't withdraw money while we're redoing the currencies. The debt's now zero. Plan worked. Meanwhile, Republicans are sitting there thinking, this time around, we don't need a debt ceiling because, we've already went 31.2 trillion and the entire country's down. But that brings down the entire global economy. Meanwhile, everyone's pointing fingers. Oh, the Republicans. Where where it goes like this, okay? It goes like this, right? The United States is going to be the laughing stock again, and I'll tell you why. It goes like this, people. Most of you shitbirds don't understand that I was explaining to Chloe this morning. I think Chloe finally realized her stupidity when I said there's two types of parties. There's the Republicans and the Democrats. They're both dumbasses. They don't do anything for people. And you know what happens? The Republicans and Democrats are all shitbirds. They turn around and they're like this. Well, we could have raised the debt ceiling, but Democrats won't concede on anything. We want to cut off Social Security, Medicare, and they say, fuck you, we got to pay it. So we're like, fuck you, so the debt ceiling wasn't raised. And now we have banking costs, blame the Democrats. Meanwhile, the Democrats said these motherfuckers won't conceive on anything, these shitbirds, pointing fingers at each other, right? Guess who the fucking world's pointing? They're pointing at the fucking Americans. Look at these dumbasses. They wanted a fucking democracy, but they fucking crippled their own country and the world's economy because each people are pointing the fingers at each other. Who's the shitbirds now, people? I mean, literally, you got, well, we have to support trans rights because they're real women. No, they're not. They're men with DNA chromosomes as men. So they're all men in dresses. We're not supporting a free sex changes. We have to support it, and we can't cut it out of the budget. Back and forth. Shitbirds basically bring the economy down. I just threw that in there, as an example. And this is why they're not getting fucking anything done. Yeah. Plain and simple. I gotta go tinkle real quick, but you get the idea, right? The idea is, you going out? There you go. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
I gotta talk to her for some. So your mom didn't even send you a stinking email saying happy birthday? What the hell's your problem, man?
I'm not sure. Oh.
So anyways, you guys, love all of you, by the way. You guys are great people. Like I said, the shitbirds out there don't realize that there's a lot of problems. Yeah, I was just asking Chloe for mommy would send her anything. Not even a happy birthday. Didn't even call. Chloe's going to go get some chocolate frosting for her cake. So, for you shitbirds out there, you got to realize the time is now to prep. Time is not to sit on your ass, because a lot of people out there, they don't prep properly. They don't. Prepping is an art form. Prepping is the type of person that makes things survive. And that is why you shitbirds need to realize, tell Doris, tell them the truth. There's people out there that we know in families that are going to lose everything. Think about it. 99.9% of the world will not survive this banking collapse. 99.9. No money, no new currencies. Meanwhile, how do they buy it? How do they pay their taxes? How do they fund their stuff? How do they fund their stuff? They don't. I've been telling you guys for a while now, which reminds me, I need to check my postal box today, or on informed delivery, I should say, because I want my informed delivery to see if I have that package coming in. UPS claims that there's a package due, and I'll check UPS too. Anyways, it says packages. So apparently I got one package that's not even there yet. Figures. I'll go check that thing. It says Moppy. One of the things I was going to talk to you guys about prepping, it's just a luxury item, is here we go. Tracking number. Track a package. So apparently it was picked up from USPS, so a shipper is doing it. That's why I hate these delivery people. It's Tuesday, right? They're saying I got 6 days for this package. 6 days. Because it's going from one trucking company to the next. So, anyways, I want to see what's going on because I know there's a package due in today. Track a package. I love how you call UPS. It's like, track a package. It's like, no, I'll track it online if I have to, But UPS and FedEx are a bunch of wonkies, in my opinion. Come on. Oh, that's why. Because I wanted my track packages right here. Tracking packages. So it tells me I got one coming in from no information from this package yet. So apparently this one's delivered, right? This one is claiming there's nothing. So my package is from jokingly, of course, right? Amazon is apparently lost. Track a package. Okay, so it says tracking package, right? Arriving today by 8. So it's not even out for delivery. So they're saying it's 8:42. Okay, so it's okay. So I got this. This came from okay. So it actually went from Ohio to Louisville to Seattle to Burlington. Wow. So in approximately 16 hours, it went across air all the way from Louisville to Burlington. So 2 days, they're saying 2 days because it's a paper product. Track a package. I think it's fucking badass. There you go, peeps. Batter asser. So there you go. What was I saying? So, anyways, I got spreadsheets to do a little later tonight. I do need some gaming time, as you guys know, but you guys understand that I've been doing this for 3 hours, okay? So 3-hour video. But question to you is, how's it going? How's everything doing? What's it up, right? Yeah. So anyways, so for some of you out there, I just wanted to say, think about it. Think about what Teldor is saying. You guys got time to prep, but you don't have much time. And if you don't, and you come here and you're like, look, my channel right now is about prepping, okay? I don't need to explain anymore right now about Chloe, okay, or Zoe, or whatever. We're here about prepping, okay? If you don't light a fire on your ass, they're like, did Chloe bring the sandwiches? Yes, she did. But we're about prepping. We're not here about sandwiches. We're not here about this. We're talking about prepping. If you don't light a fire under your ass and you're being a cheap son of a bitch, and you go hungry when the Great Depression 9.0 starts, it's not my problem. You know why? Because I've warned you time and time again. I mean, look, my opinion is this, okay? I'm going to say this today, right? I'm going to say it like I did yesterday. I do these videos as a hobby to get you guys to realize that there's fake YouTubers out there telling you World War III is going to happen. You're going to prep for it, buy everything from my store, buy my crap. Meanwhile, you got other people bitching and moaning about the Economic World Forum or the World Economic Forum, right? Does it worry us? No. Do we know what happened? No. I mean, literally, you look at this, right? I always look at Ukraine when they do updates, right? What do we got today? So, the Netherlands is staying strong. Top Ukrainian U.S. general meet in Poland. Poland. Moppy. Europe rushes to stock up in Russian diesel before an import ban could push prices at the pump. Wow. Russian at the apartment rises to 45. Sends clear message to Putin. Well, yes, Putin's just going to basically mow him over still. European Commission president tells CNN, Western allies need to step up military. Oh, yes. Top U.S. general visits Ukrainian training site in Germany. Mark Milley. Australian military personnel will deploy to the Ukraine to train troops. I'm starting to have something, I'm starting to feel sick. And the reason for it is not mentally, but sick. You see, deep down, I'm feeling sick. And it ain't about the lack of food. You see, it's the lack of something inside me. You see, it goes like this. The government of the world are not sending troops to train Ukrainians. Let them fight and win. Doesn't that seem a little obsessive? Huh? Obsessive? Look at it. So you got Australia, UK, other European countries training Ukrainians, Americans. And yet, deep down, we're training them. That means we're getting closer and closer of our allies having boots near or around Ukraine. Around Ukraine, but not in Ukraine. A lot of people email me and say, oh, this is the black swan could be the nuclear war. Banking collapse. Look it up. Point being, that they're not having other allies trying to train them. You see, tell you what's happening. My theory. They're using the Ukrainian war as a sideshow of a sideshow. Because they don't want the Americans to know the banking collapse is going to happen. You see, there you have it. They're using it as a sideshow of a sideshow because think of it. What the banking collapse is doing, the only news articles you're getting is if the banking collapse happens is because they didn't raise the debt ceiling. Yeah. You see, I'll tell you what they're doing, okay? They're basically a black swan situation where you can't forecast something, right? But the United States comes out and says, the White House says, no concessions, raise the debt limit, right? They say no. Concessions, they say no. Debt ceiling doesn't get raised. We still got to June to secure it. Now, if they drain it all the way down to June, and we can't make our bills, then then you worry. Because that gives them a 5-month window, right? For the stock market crash. Think about it. 5 to 6 month window. 5 months for the only country in the United States that is big for economics. People are superseding us. I mean, look. All right. I'm getting ready to get out of here for a while until I start my spreadsheets, but let me just finish up here. A lot of you out there in America think I'm bull crap. A lot of you believe nothing's going to happen. If Civil War didn't happen, nuclear war didn't happen, World War III didn't happen, Red Wave didn't happen.
All right, here's the phone.
Oh, thanks. How is everything with your old mom? She doing okay?
She's working.
Working? What is she doing now? She went home?
She's working on the horses. I'm not sure what's going on.
You ask her about what her plan is out here? Or did you know?
No, she's going later tonight.
Oh, so she basically put you off again.
Calling tonight. Busy.
Fine. Did you, just out of curiosity, ask her if she sent you, like she usually does, a birthday card? I said a birthday card in the mail. Didn't say anything else.
She said she's going to send it today. She gets the mail.
Oh, the mail today? Wow, that's a long thing. Oh, well, right. I'll check my balance. Not that we need any. We don't need much. Do we need Chloe? Thank God, I think we got enough room for one more gallon of milk. I don't want to run out and drinking it over beer. Oh, you wanted to get some booze, don't you? Maybe you should pick up a case of Miller High Life today. The champagne of beer. Damn, running low. Really running low. Let me see here. Is anything pending still? Oh, yeah, look at all this shit. So I'm starting to wonder if there's a problem here, people. Oh, don't look at my balance. Okay, there you go. I'm going to tell you why. For 6 days, everything's been pending in my banking account. 6. How am I supposed to do something if it's pending for 6 days?
Withdraw things so easily.
Well, he's got the phone. Give me a ring.
I will.
We'll talk about beer or something. All right, peeps. So, before I leave, I want to say 2 things. It's her birthday, so she was talking about an ale. She's entitled to it. 2 is, I've been doing this for so long on a game. What do you think? 460 today on up? Yeah. We already cracked 440. How many times? I can start with 40 and see where I go. You got a stake 2 right there. See? You guys want to see this, huh? Your stake 2's behind you. See, this is what happens when you own an adorable dog. They think they're entitled. No, you don't get anything. Okay, so I'm going to leave you guys, okay, for a while. Spreadsheets are going to be coming in the afternoon. I need some time for rest, lunch. So, look. So, my plan is this. Look, you got to conserve. There's a T-bone. What's up? Miss something? What? A match? Oh, okay. Cool. All right, peeps. Well, like I said, for the final part of my video, I want to say, prep like your life depends on it. And 2 is, I do this as a hobby. So I've did 3 hours, 15 minutes. I've gone through the preppers list. I think I don't have to go through it again. Buy what you think is necessary, and the rest is luxury. Think of it that way, and you should be able to survive a lot better if you just fix yourself on food and water. In the meantime, I look forward to hearing Teldor makes more comments. And no, you already got something, greedy stink. No, you don't get any more mooch bags. You already went out earlier. Mooch. Yeah, Tara says no. There you go. So for the rest of you, Chloe and I I'm going to be marinating steaks in a couple hours. I want to make sure they're very good. T-bones tonight, right? Teldor. Rolling out the red carpet for Chloe tonight. Shrimp, steak, and fried potatoes and onions. Yeah, sounds like a healthy meal, right? So, for the rest of you out there, like I said, I do this as a hobby. I'm done doing this for right now. I got to make a phone call. So, that said, please add, subscribe, please post comments, please leave feedback, suggestion. That subscribe button, so some fun for your family, including your dogs, your cats, your service dogs, your service bunny, hit the bell notification, thumbs up button, subscribe button. It's all some fun for your family. Thanks for watching, everyone, and God bless you in everything you do.